Osceola Magic. And you're listening to a presentation of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. It's almost time to drop the puck. Let's send it ringside for the Landers Auto Group pregame show with the voice of the Mudbugs, Zach Grant.
Mudbugs hockey has returned to the banks of the Red River here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum as we make our way ever closer to the start of the 2026 season on September 11th against a team who'll be making their franchise start, the Houston Bulls. But first, the Mudbugs will have to contend with the Corpus Christi IceRays coming up the coast in town for 3 exhibition games this weekend. Hi again, everybody. Thanks for joining us wherever you might be tuning in from. I'm Zach Grant, voice of the Mudbugs, and welcome into the Mudbugs warm-up driven by our friends at Landers, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Fiat. The Bugs are going to look a little bit different tonight as they continue to try to whittle down the training camp roster. Just a few short weeks ago, it started with 100 players. It's made its way down into the 30s, but still needs to drop to 25 by the end of the weekend. While these games might mean nothing in the standings column, they are very important as they are the last chance for these players to show what they bring to the Mudbugs roster. So we'll see a rotating group of players throughout the 3 games this weekend. And tonight, only 3 familiar faces for the Bucks. Nander Poloni, Chase Sakrisky, and Ryan Barrett will find themselves on the top line getting a start. Lots of new faces that we'll get to hopefully see in the coming weeks on the George's Pond ice. And we're so excited to introduce them to you, Mudbug Nation, here this weekend. That's how things will look in this game. 3 20-minute periods, media timeouts, the whole shebang, just like the regular season. They just don't count in the standings. Before we get set tonight, we'll take a quick timeout, and on the other side, we'll hear from head coach Jason Soupy Campbell as we set the table for Game 1 of the preseason schedule between the Bugs and the IceRays. You're listening to Mudbugs Hockey.
Hey Mudbug fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantlets, and grills. They've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We are back with another season of hard-hitting questions. Zach Grant, head coach Soupy Campbell. So, Soupy, we turn the calendar to a new year, lots of excitement. But for you, entering another season with the Mudbugs at the helm, what's it like being back for another year?
I'm excited. You know, it just it never really gets old. It was a really busy summer, running all over the place. You know, doing a lot of recruiting, working. Hopefully found some good players, you know, to bring back to Shreveport, and so far the guys have been great at camp. Just, I say it every year, camp is like Christmas Day for us coaches. We get to see all the players that have been here before and working hard all summer, and then you get to see the new guys that you've either protected and drafted or tendered, or they're free agents coming in that you think can maybe do a good job for you. So far it's been an exciting start to the season.
They got lots of positives a year ago, making a playoff run, still some unfinished business. What's been kind of the biggest focus this offseason?
Well, we ended up losing a goalie. Phillips is starting in the USHL, so that's a big hole to fill there. So I feel like we've got some good guys here right now fighting for those two spots really that are available. Felt like we've had a decent returning group of guys, forwards and defensemen, so some good veteran leadership coming back, guys that can play and be impactful players. So finding guys that maybe could complement those guys and round out our four lines and our depth up front as well as our depth on the D-core. So, and we feel like so far we've done a pretty decent job of that, and but there's still a lot of work to do, obviously.
I got some new faces all over the lineup tonight, and we'll see all weekend, really. What can fans kind of expect to see from those guys?
Well, I expect these guys to work hard. They've been doing it for the last few weeks, so really I think they can make plays, but I think they just have a lot of grit to their game for the most part. All these guys that are going to be out here tonight, they're going to be excited to play against a different team for a change. So I expect them to come out high energy, ready to roll, and be playing hard and fast hockey.
Now, amongst all those newbies is a fair amount of returners that we'll see as well, including two veterans, Revan Pusateri, Jonah Jouser, last year's A and C, respectively. Kind of what does having those two back as a core leadership kind of mean for this team?
It's huge. When you have guys that are younger leaders, they'll go through some stuff that is tough on them, when they're young, trying to be leaders and lead a team, and they're going to go through some things. But those two there, they got great character. They got tough skin, and they did a great job last year. They've done a great job the entire time they've been here, even before last year. And they've started out off really on a great foot this year, trying to lead this group in the right way and in every way, shape, and form. So far they're off to a great start.
You mentioned this a little bit earlier on, but all camp, all they want to see is a jersey that doesn't look like theirs. And that's what we've got here this weekend with 3 games against Corpus Christi. Yeah. So kind of what's been the vibe around the building this week?
The vibes, there's been good energy. We moved over into the home locker room and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a big week for everybody. They've been getting all outfitted in their Mudbug stuff and practicing, looking like a team more and more every single day. Billy and Duncan have done a great job of that, outfitting the guys, making sure they look sharp. But the guys have been showing up every day and practicing hard and learning a lot. And so now it's time to just shut the brain off and go out there and do their thing, and do what they're great at, and that's play hockey and be good teammates.
All right, that was head coach Jason Soupy Campbell. Take a quick timeout. On the other side, we'll get our starting lineups as we set the table for Game 1 of the preseason.
Did you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our Sweet the Swamp Pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a Sweet the Swamp Pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
Welcome back into the Landers warm-up show here as we get set for game number 1 of the 3-game preseason schedule. Starting lineup for the Bugs features some familiar faces, including Chase Christi centering the line. He's got Ryan Barrett to his right wing. On defense, Stander Poloni, and he's got two new players in the starting lineup as well. Diesel Whiten from Grand Prairie, Alberta will get the start on left defense. And then Lavadier will get the start. He's out of Quebec. Olivier Lavadier, 22 tonight. He'll be the left wing on the top line. The Mudbugs coming out of the Jumco hometown tunnel as we get set for the starting lineups. We'll send it down ringside with our longtime George's Pond PA announcer, Robert J. Wright. In just a moment, the Mudbugs will be in their black practice jerseys with white numbers. Corpus Christi will be in the white practice jerseys with black numbers for them. Both teams have more than the maximum allowed rosters at the moment, so there'll be some more cuts coming after the weekend by the September 1st deadline. Mudbugs come in with 34 players on a roster. Corpus Christi has 40, so we'll see some different rosters throughout the weekend here as we get you going on NATV and Mudbugs Audio Network on YouTube. And now we'll go down ringside for Robert J. Wright.
From Quebec, Canada, number 22, Olivier Lavadier. And forward from Portage, Pennsylvania, number 38, Chase Christi. And forward from Nashville, Tennessee, number 39, Ryan Baird. It's from Gad, Hungary, number 34, Nando Alani. It's from Grand Prairie, Alberta, number 35, Diesel Whiten. And tonight, between the pipes, from Mall City, Washington, in goal number 94, Jack Greenwell. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, time once again to show everyone in the North American Hockey League and beyond that we, Bugs fans, are undoubtedly the most patriotic of the kind. A few simple requests, please stand. Remove your caps and hats. And join in the singing of this evening's national anthem. Please welcome to George's Pond, Kaylee Blackburn.
At the top
the first rendition of the national anthem here at George's Pond in the 2026 season. And again, to recap, this game means nothing as far as standings go, but the Mudbugs still have a decent amount of trimming to do to the roster, as do the Ice Rays. So it's a last chance for some of these newcomers to prove themselves as they try to earn one of the final 25 spots on the roster. So we mentioned a couple of the new faces. Olivier Laverdiere coming out of the QMJHL with Cape Breton last season. He had a nice year for them, 37 games with 8 points. Of course, Chase Christi centers his starting line. He's returning from the Mudbugs a year ago. Great to see him back out on the ice. Maybe get a little bit more playing time now that he's entering his second year with the club. Nando Poloni on defense. And of course, you've got one of the other newcomers on defense tonight, the other starting defenseman. That's Diesel Whiten, and you're not a hockey player unless your name is Diesel, so he's got that going for him. 6'1", 195, coming out of the Vancouver Island Junior Hockey League. Well, we've got 5 players assigned. We've got 3 referees. We've got ice. We've got some fans on the season ticket holder exclusive night. Carrasco's got the puck in hand. He drops it, and we are off and rolling in game 1 of the exhibition season as the second-year Mudbug Poloni will wrap it into the Corpus end. The Ice Rays pick it up in their own zone as they'll look to start it up the near side wall as Sargent plays it to center, goes into the zone of the Mudbugs, where it's eventually tracked down by Whiten as he'll settle it down behind his netminder Greenwell in front of it. Played up the near side wall, but only to the blue line and not out. Held in by Corpus. That one sent towards the net behind the cage, picked up by Whiten again. Saves off of one defender, plays it up the wall, but only to the blue line and still not out. Ice Rays hold it in. He'll send it back behind the net. Poloni will track it back down behind the cage. Works off to the far side for Whiten. He'll start to break out. The lefty shooting defenseman will lob it to center. Eventually tracked down now for Sargent. Sargent will drop it back into his own zone. Centering pass that time for Cifaldi, the returning Ice Ray. One of the few they have on the ice tonight as well. Bucks have 3 familiar faces out there. Barrett, Poloni, and Sakrisky on this top line. Puck's down low behind the cage. Picked up once again by the Ice Rays. Played by Patrick Murch. He's got it far corner. Spins off a check now. Does Chase Field. Field works up the left side point. Controlled by Ingram. Sends a shot towards the net. That gets blocked in front. Rebound thrown out in front of the net mouth. Picked up eventually by the Mudbugs as some slashes take place behind the play. Now the Bugs bring it into the offensive zone. Let's see if they can set something up on this trip down the ice. Sakrisky off of 2 checks. A bouncing puck goes on net. Rebound, backhand, they score! Not even 2 minutes into the exhibition season. And it's Chase Blanchard, the 6-foot forward, who makes it 1-0 with 18:27 to go in the first. What a great pass to start. And the Mudbugs strike early.
Love seeing it strike early. By the way, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Duncan Welker here. Love to get that early start. They just love it all around. So, I don't know about you, but going up and down those stairs, you hit your step goal pretty quickly.
Well, there's a few certainties in life, and that's one of them.
Exactly. But
as Greenwell plays it behind the net, and the Bugs will look to keep things rolling here. They got the. That was really the first possession of zone. This is going to go for icing back the other way, so Corpus is going to get an O-zone draw. The Bugs won the opening faceoff. They got into the zone, didn't get really anything set up. Then Corpus spent a good minute and a half on their side of the ice, and then the Bugs got one possession. Sakrisky made that great play at the blue line, and then Blanchard came in and put his eyes to the middle, as Soupy would like to say, and he gets the goal.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. You put your eyes to the middle. Almost, I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to find what you're looking for. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Greenwell, heck of a goaltender right there. I've been watching him all camp, all practices. He's been doing really well. He's been one of those goalies that, not going to lie, a lot of people might think different about them after this game, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Ice Rays had it for a moment. Now it's shipped ahead by the Bugs. Brought in right side, centering feed down the middle, backhand shot. Great save by Al Aswar. Just his second save of the game. Getting it done. There's going to be a delayed penalty coming up on the Bugs. Tripping is going to be the call. It's touched up that time by Blanchard, the goal scorer. So the Bugs are going to go to the first kill and some extracurriculars over by the bench after the whistle. It looks like Oliver Burgess going to be the guilty party. So he'll sit for 2 minutes for tripping.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll admit at first I didn't really see the tripping down there, but don't get me wrong, no. Burgess is a big kid. But that being said, Zach, Bugs on Scott Power, or excuse me, first choice personnel. Penalty kill. Getting into it earlier.
It's going to be Menor to play it left side. Offensive zone for the Ice Rays. They're in the white jerseys, moving right to left. Bugs in the black, moving left to right as these two teams play 3 games this weekend, and this one's cleared down to start off the kill for the Bugs. Both teams have rosters too big for the league maximum, so they're going to have some more cuts to make after the weekend by the September 1st deadline as the Ice Rays carry it to center. Bugs will steal it away right at the red line and dump it back into the Corpus end. Eventually tracked down by Patrick Sargent now as he'll cycle it around into his own zone. Works at his own blue line, swings it across to the far side. Ice Rays start to break out up a man. Safaldi hits the brakes and over the line. Centering feed that time. Doesn't connect that time for Sargent. Comes up to the left point for Perugine. Down low to the goal line. Sent back up top. He's got it top of the left circle now. Hits the brakes at the hash marks. Looks for a play. He's got no passing lane. Now he feeds it across. It's picked up by Safaldi. Toes the blue line. Works off to his left. Tries to split the D. Lost the puck. Bugs get it back and it's cleared down the ice.
Good clear there from the Bugs. I believe that was number 27, Owen Chapetta on that clear attempt. Good clear by him right there.
Safaldi will play it back up to center before the Bugs immediately rifle it back down to the Ice Ray end. Netminder out to play it, weaves it off behind the net. 50 seconds to go on the kill for the Bugs. 16:31 left in the first. Already 1-0 Shreveport. As Chase Blanchard scored in the opening minute and a half, we get an offside whistle here from Brad Sotak, who's back out on the ice after missing most of the really second half of last season.
No, I mean, we saw him during camp. We saw him in during camp. He reffed one of the All-Star games per se with the big camp, and he looked good. I believe it was something with his upper body. I don't know for 100% certain, but he looks good. He's feeling good. Got his skates sharpened, so always got to have that.
Ice Rays bring it in left side. Down to the goal line, carrying it ahead is Field. Field slides it back up top to the left point for Clark. He goes D to D with it. Now the return pass to him goes outside of his reach. The normal preseason things. It's dropped off down the middle. Looking for a play that time was Field. The Mudbugs quickly cycle back on defense. Field's got it, now works below the goal line for D'Agostino. D'Agostino centering feed, one-time blast. Nice save that time for Greenwell in net. Puck deflects back to the right circle. Down low in the corner again through the fog for D'Agostino. It is Louisiana in August, after all. Here the shot from the left point. Redirect to Greenwell. Got a piece of it. Rebound behind him, and it squeaks in for a goal. Corpus Christi ties it up with 15:38. The Bugs unable to clear the traffic in front, and the Ice Rays not up the game.
Yeah, Greenwell just had the puck, or rather, he had the puck smooshed in his pads, but the Ice Rays were able to poke it home. But you know what? Even hockey game, so he's got to bounce back from it. Even in preseason, Zach, you got to bounce from something like that because preseason is a learning experience, and well, as a goalie, you need to learn from that. Pretty much off the hop.
So Jack Greenwell, 6'0", 165, 33 games played a year ago, 25-7 record. He also has 3 shutouts to his credit, 225 goals against and a .916 save percentage. It's carried down below the goal line for Corpus Christi. They've had some good pressure early. The Bugs have really only had that 1 or 2 possessions out there. But they've got the quote-unquote veteran line out there tonight as they've got a couple of returners, Chase Sakrisky, Poloni, and Ryan Barrett out there on this shift this time for the Bugs. So that's poked back out to center ice. We mentioned in the pregame there'll be 3 rotating rosters for the Bugs this weekend. And so we'll see more and more veterans as time goes on in the exhibition game. Right now letting the newcomers kind of show their stuff tonight as Lavedier's got it behind the cage. Comes from the QMJHL a season ago. Had 8 points for the Tigers. Now work below the goal line again for Lavadier. Looks to try to set something up. Try to get it to the blue line, and now a whistle and a hand pass away from the play. Stops time with 14:45 left in the first. In a 1-1 game, it was Blanchard who got the scoring started at the 18:28 mark before D'Agostino just a minute ago knotted it up at 1.
Good old Tristan Hill, you love that.
The face-off in front of the Corpus bench. They'll win it back into their own zone. On the near side is Sargent. Geeks one check, now lost the puck. Stolen away, Poloni fights through the contact that time. He really bulked up in this offseason. He's a new man out there on the ice. He was really solid in his first Bug season, coming to us from Hungary. This goes towards the net, off the side of the cage. It's played eventually by McMurray in the offensive zone. Slides it around as everybody goes flying here in the corner. Up top to the left point for Windwer. Windwer looks to try to make a play. The Bucks try to clear, goes off of the referee, bounces right to their stick though. Carried ahead by Sean Goodman, the 6-0 forward, down into the corner, absorbs the check, lost the puck though. Picked back up by Saul Scheider now in the corner. Wrapped around the boards for Windward, picked up eventually by Sargent along the far side wall. At his own circle, will feed it back to center ice, so get it to the red line and then dump it in, go off for a change. Bucks will win a foot race to it in their own zone. It's Mark Miller who picks it up. Another Canadian player joining the Bucks this year. At the blue line, it's thrown towards the net, goes wide, gets kicked over to the far wall for Miller to play it again. Backhands it behind the cage. Good battle back there as DeLayer tries to play it up the wall. He's still got it below the goal line, fighting off a couple of ice rays. Now we'll cycle it back the other direction to the far side. Miller tries to clear, goes off an ice ray skate, and goes back into the corner. Now up the wall, still not out, and actually Sotak said it did come out, so that'll be offside, and a hit right in time with a whistle. Draws a little bit of ire, but I think it's preseason. Hopefully they're not too angry yet with 13:27 to go in the first.
Not too angry just yet. And maybe about 10 minutes we'll find out.
Face-off goes right in front of the Bugs bench, far side. They'll get a new puck to bring in. They try to keep the pucks cold when it's, over 95 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So it goes behind the cage. Greenwell will play it. Heard from head coach Jason Soupy Campbell pregame that Greenwell will get the entire game tonight. At least that's the plan for now. It's played behind the net. You never know with preseason who we might see kind of mix and mangled out there. Is now we've got a tie up behind the wall. Safaldi lost his stick, but he's throwing his right leg along the wall that time to pin the Bucks. Now it's played. Chipped up the wall. Not enough to get to the point man that time, but it's cleared up by the Bugs back into the Corpus Christi end. Picked up by Ingram eventually. He'll feed it back up for Safaldi, who's grabbed his loose stick. At center, it's stolen away. That one backhanded deep by Brereton that time. Now the Bucks have a chance. Offensive zone right in front of the net. Backhanded shot. Man got knocked down. Net comes off. Puck squirts wide. A whistle's coming, and it looks like the Bucks should get an offensive zone draw here with 12:38 left to go in this opening first period, which as always is brought to you by our friends at Advanced Air Conditioning and Heating, offering installations, repairs, and maintenance for homes and businesses in the area. Log on to advancedac.com. That's advancedac.com.
Brereton had the really nice handles there, I'll be honest. That's one of the things you look for in a player that size in Brereton, his handles. But he got hauled down, but you know what? We'll do it again.
The far side circle. It's eventually controlled by the Ice Rays in their own zone. They've got Paragenes with the puck, and icing's going to be washed out. Bugs are going to get to it before it got to the line. It's Paloni, the 6-0 defenseman with it. Works off to the far side of the net. Comes on the breakout. Dodges one check. Now a second one. Through the middle logo. Dumped in from the near side point that time. And the Bugs can't get anything set up defensively, though. Corpus Christi races after the puck. 5-car pile up along the far side wall. Works to the circle. Now behind the cage. Picked up by Roger Williams. He'll slide it across far side. Man calls for the puck near side, but it stays up the wall, and the Bugs will steal it away at center as Corpus Christi again cannot get across the red line. As the Ice Rays will play it again for Williams behind the cage. Works off far side again. That pass doesn't connect. Bugs will have it below the goal line. Set up top. Didn't quite connect that time. Now center point controlled by Broadbent. Around two defenders, now works around a third. Chips it around the end wall, comes up the near side boards to the hash marks at the circles. Now goes back behind the cage where eventually it's tracked down by Patrick Murch for the Ice Rays. Now tie up along the wall once more. 4-player battle for it. Williams eventually wins it, slides it around to the near side. Everybody's just feeling each other out here early on as it slid up to the point once more at that time. For Seville's, his shot goes off the side of the cage. Rebound comes up for Roger Williams. Tries to play it out of the zone. Held in by the Bucks. High slot. Chipped over as it trickles to the right point. Broadbent dodges one check. Still with the puck as his stick gets tied up. Now up top again at the left point. Top of the right circle. Sakriski feeds it to the middle, and that's stolen away by Corpus Christi and not going to be enough for icing as the puck is going to stop about 5 feet short of the goal line. The Bugs will have to race after it. It's Ryan Baird with it, wearing a different number than his number last year. This is brought in onside. Comes for Lavadier now. Goes circle to circle with it. Now far side controlled by Sean Goodman. Works behind the cage, spun off the puck. Bounces free. Lavadier will come to help him out. Now picked back up by Goodman as he gets knocked down to his knees where Corpus tries to clear the puck. Still unable to do so. Bugs doing a good job defensively on this sequence, but eventually the Ice Rays will play it to the middle and back to center ice, but only to the red line is eventually getting a stick on it And this is going to be offside on the Bugs. Some late contact at the whistle, and that's going to draw the linesman in, and that's going to bring us to our first media timeout. Hard to believe we're already halfway through the opening frame. 1-1 is our score. 10:20 to go. This is Mudbugs hockey.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Zach Grant, Duncan Welker back with you from George's Pond. It's exhibition game number 1 of 3 this weekend. Bugs and Ice Rays tied at 1 here with 10:20 to go in the first. Like to remind you as always that Mudbugs Hockey is brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. This is how we Sonic.
So, by the way, Zach, while we have a second, give a big, tremendous shout-out to our off-ice officials down below us, getting the live game scoring going, as well as the folks back in the NATV offices there in Dallas to be able to follow alongside on NAHL.com as well as NATV. So shots on goal currently right now are 5-4 in favor of the Ice Rays. By the way, that Brereton goal was unassisted at 18:27. So good stuff there.
This is going to be icing off the face-off, maybe, and no, it's going to be beat out that time by Emerson LaRoche. I think a lot of Mudbugs fans been waiting to see him. He's been a force to be reckoned with down in the NA3 with the Drillers. He played in 47 games last year with 127 points, 55 goals, and 72 assists. So a lot of Mudbugs fans know the name, as we're going to get a delayed offside coming on the Ice Rays face-off at center with 9:50 to go. So I think a lot of fans, you always want to see the new guys, but I think especially with Emerson being the kind of history he has in Louisiana.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, he's also skated with us a few times throughout last season. Really great kid overall. You know, almost has that veteran presence despite his age. I mean, he's on the younger side of things, Zach, and you know, but yet in the locker room he has a veteran almost like presence, and that's a good thing to have, especially at this league as you move up into the USHL level or even college or anything else for that matter. So good to see Emmy out on the ice.
Mark Miller behind the net doing the dirty work, but Corpus Christi will play it to the blue line, and then they can't set anything up after that. Bugs get a piece of it and slide it back out to center ice. So it's picked up once more by the Ice Rays. Safaldi tries to bring it in. Can't split the D at the blue line. It's held out by the Bugs as they deny the zone entry before it's eventually dumped down behind the net. Greenrow watching over his left shoulder. Bugs will try to play it up the near side wall. Eventually tracked down by Brereton. Now back out to center ice. Corpus Christi retreats back into their own zone as they'll backpedal for Sean Ingram. Ingram feeds it to the middle. Nobody was home at center ice. Now the Bugs get it back and will look to start the breakout up ahead along the near side wall. Picked up into the zone by Eli Schulman now behind the net. Eventually tracked down by Safaldi as he steals it away. Chips it out to center ice just over the blue line to center. Once more controlled. Big hit there as Delaire knocks the Ice Ray down that time, and then it bounces free for Brereton. Throws it into open ice, left side, waiting for everybody to get on side with him, and a big shot there goes deflecting all the way up off the top of the glass, stayed out of the netting, so we roll on with 8:27 to go in a first period, which is tied at 1. Bugs got on the board first. Corpus Christi tied it up. Here's Broadbent, sends one on net, goes off the boards behind the cage, and goes off the side of the net, eventually to the far corner. Down low below the goal line, Williams picks it up, and he'll try to slide it out. Bugs hold it in again. Big shot from an off angle. That time goes offside the net, and then Corpus Christi almost throws one at their own goaltender. Puck trickles over to the near side corner now. 4-car pile up once more as the Bugs try to get it. Now we've got a takedown, delayed call up coming, and here we go. It's throwing some rights is Chapetta down there as he will pick up his loose bucket that time, and we'll see who gets the call. Roughing is coming from the referee, Haskell, and we'll see who the guilty party is. Looks like the Ice Rays are going to go to the kill. That means the Bugs are going to their first Scott Powerline power play of the season.
Absolutely, you love to see it. So I'll be honest, I thought Chiappetta was going to go in myself. Although to be frank with you, so don't call me Frank. To be honest, I thought it was going to be a 4-on-4, but you know what? We'll take that Scott Powerline power play. Love it.
So 7:57 left, period number 1. Bugs going on their first power play. The Ice Rays were unsuccessful, just barely by a second or two on their last power play. Bugs have it at the left circle, sent down low. Looking for a play now below the circle, up to the left point. Slid down low by Broadbent as the Bugs try to set it up on a power play. Thrown out in front at point blank range. That shot never connected. Back up top now for Broadbent. Left point slides it across with the glove down by Seville's that time. Now behind the cage, Lavadier picks it up, works off to the far side, into the corner. Cycles back up to the top of the left circle. Now looks for a play. Centering feed that time for Seville's. Top of the right circle. Back up top. Center point for Broadbent. Back for Seville's. Cuts down the middle. One-time shot. That doesn't connect. Rebound. Coming down the middle. Big shot that time for Broadbent. That one's turned aside by Aliswar. He gave up his first shot he faced, and after that he's been solid. Here's Broadbent again. High slot. Works to the right point. Deeks around one defender. Now cuts down low to the bottom of the circle. So Christi spins it up top for Seville's. One-time pass back across for Lavadier. Back now for Sakrisky at the right circle. Works up to the blue line. Bugs got to get a shot away here on this power play. Up top, Broadbent. He waits. Sends it down low for Lavadier at the goal line. Takes an off-angle shot. Goes to the blue paint. Sent back up top towards the blue line. Bugs trying to throw some more punks at the net. It's held in now by Lavadier, right circle. Works back up to the blue line. Snaps it across for Broadbent, left point. Down low for Barrett. Barrett throws it to the middle, and Corpus Christi got to backhand it out as they stay alive on this kill with 28 seconds to go on the Bugs power play. They'll get some fresh bodies out there with 6:20 to go in the first, and now the Bugs will settle it down as Broadbent's got it. Below the goal line, they'll start the four-player breakout as Broadbent looking for a change now. It's carried ahead through center ice. Lavadier splits the D. He's going to win the foot race to it behind the Corpus Christi net. Wraps around far side, picked up by Goodman. Goodman's got it up top with 4 seconds on the power play for the Bucks. Sent back across. Goodman at the left point. Man out of the box. Back on 5-on-5 here. The shot goes 5-full and scored. Coming down the wing, it's Emerson LaRoche. He had 55 goals a year ago, and he'd already got one in the preseason. It's 2-1 with 5:50 to go in the first.
Oh, love to see it. Emerson LaRoche, welcome to Shreveport. Love it. An excellent setup there just as the power play expires. Find Emerson LaRoche down there. Bottom, backdoor cutter works every time. Let's go.
That makes it 2-1 Bucks. They got the initial lead, and now they've got their second lead of the game here. Great goaltending for Corpus. They just had to get the puck out of the zone on that sequence there, and eventually you put enough shots on net, one of them's bound to go in as the Bucks will carry it into the zone quickly before it's lifted back out by Corpus. Now tracked down by Diesel Whiten. What a hockey name Diesel Whiten is. It's played now into open ice. Far side, brought in over the line by the Bucks. Works down to the hash marks. Left side. Now in the corner below the goal line. Picked back up again along the far side wall. Good battle that time is working the Bugs. That time was Safaldi. Now it's chipped up the wall to center ice, and the Bugs will track it back down at their own blue line as Whiten picks it up. Whiten retreats in front of his net, trying to get around Safaldi. Lost the puck, goes off the net. Now it's played below the goal line again. Safaldi still in the battle with it that time, as Whiten's got a man tied up. That's Perugine down there trying to work free. He's harassed off the puck, but he still got it between his right skate. Now it's slid up the wall to the left point for Sargent. Sargent into open ice, back for Safaldi. His rebound, another backhand shot. Greenwell knocks it down. Back up top once more towards the blue line. Safaldi down Main Street. His shot got turned aside that time. I think it went off the skate of Whiten that time. Now comes behind the cage once more for Perugine as Corpus Christi getting some good pressure in front of the net, but eventually it's steered aside by Burton. Can't get it out though, only to the blue line as it's held in. Racing after it that time was Perugine. Nice play to save it. Now the Bugs have 5 fresh bodies out there, and they're going to hold on to the puck in front of their bench before it's poked away, and Whiten's going to have to track it down. Man gets to the puck first. Now the Ice Rays get it back for Saul Jr. Tries to feed it down low. Towards the blue line it comes. Bugs have it. And that goes off the very top of the glass and all the way down. And not going to be enough for icing as it just barely dies about a foot before it got to the red line that time. And that goes off of the boards. The goaltender never saw it. Puck in the blue paint is loose. Everybody's scrambling after it. But it stays down and we stay 2-1 with 4 minutes to go. And now behind the play, We've got Logan Pruitt mixing it up. He's going to go. He starts dropping the gloves, and Pruitt throwing some big rights. He dropped the gloves first against an unwilling combatant. Now they're going back and forth, trading rights down in the corner. Pruitt goes with a couple of uppercuts, and then he ends up falling down on top of Windward that time, and we've got a fight before we get out of the first period. Welcome to the preseason of North American Hockey League, and Pruitt's got the crowd on their feet.
Oh, you're not kidding. Logan Pruitt there throwing the Cajun spice left and right. I love it. Oh, but actually, if you really want the truth, Zach, it looked like down there the combatant for Corpus Christi, I think he realized halfway through, kind of getting pressure on, he's like, let's just go for it. So, love to see it though, Logan Pruitt, and not gonna lie, I think with a few of those Cajun spice left and right, I think he's won the hearts of at least these Mudbug fans in attendance tonight. But guess what? We still got 2 more games to go this weekend, partner. Friday and Saturday night. George's Pond, same start time. Love it.
Tonight's a season ticket holder exclusive game. Lots of season ticket holders in attendance.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, not going to fill up the pond by any means, but still a lot of fun. Our man Derek down there, jack of all trades for the Mudbugs,
really?
Celebrating that fight over there. But that was a good one there. Pruitt just really jumped Windward, it looked like. And then as you mentioned, or as we both kind of mentioned, Windward wasn't really willing at the beginning, and then he decided he was going to return fire, and those two went at it. So it looks like, by the way, the Bugs are going to be shorthanded. So Pruitt will pick up an extra 2. So second kill of the night coming up for the Bugs here with 3:53 left in the first. Bugs lead 2-1 in game 1. And you mentioned 2 more games this weekend, Friday, Saturday night. Some new players that we don't see tonight will be on the ice. So make sure to log on to tickets.georgespond34.com or call the front office through an 863-636-7094 to get your tickets to the next 2 days before we have that off week. And then the regular season as Houston comes in for their first 2 games in the South Division against the Mudbugs. So Paragene's got it for Corpus Christi on the power play. Gets knocked down. Great hit that time going towards the boards by Miller. But Safaldi gets a loose puck. Spins off of one defender. Works below the goal line towards the net through the blue paint. He got it back on the other side. A little pass to himself that time. Now goes along the goal line near side for Paragene. Paragene sends it down low. Now back for him. Paragene fired one towards the net. Blocked in front. Now goes back up top for Williams. Spins off of one defender. Leaves it off for Cifaldi, who can't get it cleanly. 2 Bugs race after him, tying up along the wall far side. Cifaldi picks it back up, tries to work down towards the goal line. Fired the shot for the right circle. Goes through the blue paint. Comes back near side for Paragene. Slides it up to the left point for Sargent. Sargent fires it, got tipped, and it goes top shelf. I think that was Maynard who got a piece of it. But nonetheless, we're tied at 2 with 3 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, that's it. Maynard is leading the high 5 line, so live stats tell us otherwise. Looks like it'll be Maynard getting that tip in goal. Which, by the way, Zach, if you look around, there's a bit of a broken lumber that got stuck down there in the Coca-Cola ad, which, by the way, hello to our friends listening at Coca-Cola, Shreveport. Great longtime partner, Shreveport Mudbugs hockey. But no, as for that goal, Zach, it's just a tip in there by Maynard. Yeah, so it is going to be Aiden Maynard. Looks like right now unassisted.
So that's where we stand, 2-2 with 2:56 left. So the Corpus power play now 2 of 2 on the day. So we don't want to, well, that was how it happened last year. So that's no surprise. They were one of the top 6 power play units in the league. Actually, the South featured 4 of the top 6 power play units in all of the North American Hockey League. And it looks like that trend, at least from the early stage of this game, might be continuing this season. It's down to a knee to grab it with Henkel. He reached down for it and got the poke towards the wall before the Bugs steal it right back. Broadbent through the legs, backhanded up top for Sakriski. Spun off the puck, still got it. Cuts towards the net, hits the break, centering feed right on the doorstep with Lavadier. And you love to see when plays get set up that well. Here's a great chance right out in front. They score. Ryan Barrett waits for it, and that line already setting up plays and system in game 1 of the year, and it's 3-2 with 2:14 to go. What a sequence there for the Bugs.
Ryan Barrett down right in the middle there, yes sir. One of 2 Tennessee treasures. Of course, the first one being the dearly parted Dolly Parton. The other one, well, Ryan Barrett right there on the ice. So.
Great effort that time. And Really, it was a great effort by Sakriski at first to start it. He dodged 2 defenders.
Absolutely.
Alazwar's trying to get the attention of the referee, and now he's got it. But yeah, no, anyway, Sakriski got through those 2 defenders that time. And then at the goal line, fought against 2 more. Threw it in front. Lavadier had a great chance. He just missed it. Then the pass went back out as they tried to get the net back on. But then they got it back out for Barrett, and he was able to bury it. But, I mean, that was well set up. Really should have probably had a goal for Lavadier on that one. But
oh, I know, yeah. And by the way, speaking of Chase Christi, I talked with him earlier. He measures in at 6 foot, although he doesn't think he does. But I'm gonna be honest. I think he got a little bit of bulked up over the summer, as you mentioned with Nandor Polonia. So okay, so now we're going to the bench here. So it looks like we'll have a bit of a.
It's game 1.
You know what? It's best to get the kinks out now. And coming up here in first intermission break, I'll talk to local high school hockey product, as well as Bayou State Rougarou player number 88, Braylon Lofton, who was at Mudbugs bid camp this year, and I'll talk to him a little bit about what his experience was like, being that local product coming into the Mudbugs camp, as well as talking about the Bayou State Rougarou, which, speaking of which, that's why we have a little bit of a moment here. Let's see, Bayou State Rougarou previously playing in Monroe last year. Now they're coming over to us here at Georgia Spondicide Hirsch Coliseum. Of course, that's the Bayou State Rougarou of the NA3. So be good to have some more hockey in the building. A lot of people will say, I say that too, but that's just me though. But as for Mr. Braylon Lofton, I'll talk to him in a little bit here once we get to the first intermission. And speaking of getting back to things, I think we're about ready to get back to action.
The 2:14 left, first period. Bugs back on top. Blanchard, LaRoche, and Baird getting the goals. And Ryan Baird's another player just like Sakriski last year. Didn't get a lot of playing time due to his age, but now that he's able to come back, hopefully we'll see both of them out on the ice a lot more this season. This one goes off the top of the glass, goes ping-ponging along the boards into the Bug zone. They'll pick it back up behind the cage and work it out. Brereton with a nice backhanded pass that time, but it gets deflected at the circle. Picked up eventually by the Bugs once more. Showman up the boards, over the stick of the point man, and for Corpus all the way back toward the ice race zone. Eventually picked up at center ice as Corpus brings it back in. Near side, it's Murch with it. Murch knocked off the puck, goes down along the boards for On now. Back below the goal line. Bugs looking to set something up defensively to get out of the zone. They'll chip it and as they find the escape valve all the way down into the Corpus Christi, and eventually tracked down by Nathan Clark. Wearing the orange helmet tonight for Corpus Christi. Both teams again, not to their season roster sides. Giveaway right out in front, backhanded shot. What a chance for Goodman, but a great stop by Corpus. I believe it never even got to net. I think Clark got a piece of it in front as he saved it off the turnover. Now the Ice Rays carried ahead to center ice. In over the blue line it comes as Perugine will send it down low. Final minute here in period number 1. 3-2 Bugs on top. It's been a lot of back and forth action. And now the Bugs will enter the zone far side, looking to set it up. Need some numbers help. Now a man gets knocked down, and he lost the puck. Squirts free for Safaldi, coming back the other way. Drops it off at the blue line. Carried ahead now by Williams. Williams down low for Safaldi. He's got it behind the cage, tries to cycle it around. Gets shoved along the boards that time by Seville's, but Safaldi still got it. Throws it towards the net, got deflected, never got there as it goes along the boards. Now up top for Williams as he steals it away left point. Big drive that time, turned aside. Bugs pick it back up. Man gets tripped up. Delayed call. And the Bugs going to go back to the power play. Let's see if they can hold on to the puck for the last 15 seconds to get a full 2 minutes at the start of the second. It looks like that's going to be the game plan here. LaRoche sticks it to the middle. Carried ahead through center. In over the line they come. And a shot on net is gloved down and covered for a stoppage with 4.3. So the Bugs will not have the full 2 minutes, but they'll be pretty close as everybody kind of jumps in.
4.3 left in this first period. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been a really good period, Zach. It's been a really good period, especially seeing the current roster that it's going to be. So it looks like going into the box there for Corpus is going to be, I believe that's number 1-2. That's number 12. That will be, it isn't the 12, and I'm not losing my mind. No, that is number 12. Find out here in a minute as the puck drop underway, and all the way down the ice, and that's the end of the first period. Zach?
That's going to do it, and now Lavadier behind the play is mixing it up after the whistle. But that's going to do it for an action-filled opening 20 minutes. 5 goals on the board, 3 for the Bugs. They had 3 different leads in this game, and now they take the lead into the first intermission as that's going to do it for the opening 20 minutes. Hard to believe we're already through the opening 20, but Blanchard got the scoring started at the 18:28 mark. D'Agostino followed up on the power play just about 3 minutes later to tie it up initially. That made it 1-1. Then Emerson LaRoche, even strength goal at the 5:50 mark, made it 2-1. After the fight, that kind of woke up the Ice Rays power play. Manor scored on the power play at the 3-minute mark to tie it up once more before Ryan Barrett, about 46 seconds later, made it 3-2. And that is where we stand after the opening 20 minutes. So we're going to take a quick timeout here on the other side. Duncan Walker's going to sit down with Braylon Lofton, talk some Rougarou hockey, talk some Shreveport hockey, and kind of how those how the Rougarou being at George's Pond will affect things moving forward, and see how things will shake out in this season. 3-2 Bucks lead after the first. Back in a moment here as the first intermission reports on the other side. You're listening to Mudbugs Hockey.
Congratulations! You kept a plant alive another day. You deserve a refreshing reward. Introducing new Whataburgers from Whataburger. You finally returned a text. Thumbs up emoji. You hung up a shirt. You changed a light bulb. You walked the dog around the whole block. Attaboy, it's treat time. The new prickly pear raspberry Whatafresher from Whataburger.
An icicle treat for every small feat. Whataburger.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area, and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old-school smoke-flavored sausage, and doing old-school sausage the way it was meant to be.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
For the big, small, short, tall. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Alrighty, welcome back into George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum. Mudbugs lead 3-2. This is the North Caddo Express Loop first intermission show, which brought to you by our friends at the North Caddo Express Lube. Stay tuned later in the season for the newest discount code. We'll find out that through the regular season. But now, ladies and gentlemen, joining me here on this aforementioned North Caddo Express Lube, Braylon Lofton. Now, Braylon, you're a local high school hockey product from Keithville. We'll call Shreveport for the simplicity of it all. From Keithville, Louisiana. Played high school hockey last few years. Got a chance to play a couple games with the Bayou State Rougarou of the NA3. Of course, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the Rougarou are going to be playing this year inside George's Pond. So, first question I got for you, buddy. What was your reaction when you heard that the Rougarou were coming to play here?
It was really exciting, you know, especially from a kid from Shreveport, especially Louisiana. Hockey's not a big thing here, and ever since I've been to my first game, my biggest dream was always playing home ice, and you know, it was very exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to think about it from any perspective of that. I've talked to a few guys who've gotten the chance to play on their own home ice, across the U.S., things like that. They said the exact same thing you did. Now, as mentioned, of course, you are a local high school hockey product. So, what do you think are, well, obviously, the biggest difference being high school hockey versus NA3, but what do you think are some of the differences in sort of the play style in between high school and NA3? Because with NA3, obviously, you guys have as young as yourself and then as older on guys.
So what do you think some of the differences are there?
I'm gonna say it's a lot more difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. The speed is different. You know, high school hockey, it's just, you know, it's a bunch of kids just trying to have fun out there.
Yep.
And as soon as you hit that juniors, it's a bunch of kids trying to make a name for themselves, trying to get off to college and, you know, pro hockey. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the things I want to ask you, Braylon, of course, you did have that big signing day going to the Ruger, if I remember correctly, yes?
Yes, sir.
What was that like? You know, I've seen signing days for college football, for college athletics, for marching band, from yours truly, of course, but that's a different story for a different day. But what was that signing day like, you know, getting for your classmates to see you going on into that next step of hockey, as you mentioned?
Honestly, it was a blessing, man. Like, you don't, like, getting to show all your classmates how much you've worked your entire life to get to that point, and especially what your parents have done. I mean, my parents have put their lives on the line for me, and I got to show everybody how amazing my parents are, and just amazing.
No, absolutely. Your parents, from what I've seen on Facebook, and even throughout the rink, parents have done a great job, and in my opinion, Avery's a fine young man. So I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that if they're, of course, not already here at the ice.
No, they're probably listening right now. Hey, Mom.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, now, Braylon, I got one last question for you, and then I'm going to let you get going. Thoughts on the period and any predictions for the next ones going on? Actually, I lied. We're going to get to that last. What was your experience like at Mudbugs camp? You know, in that big camp with 100 and plus something guys, you know, being in and out of there, left, right, center, you know. What was that experience like?
It was probably the best experience I've ever had, which, I mean, obviously, playing high school my whole life, I didn't really have a bunch of big experiences, but getting to say that I was a Mudbugs player for a week, it was probably the best moment of my life. Getting to know a bunch of the guys,
Yep.
you know, guys from all over the world. Getting to experience, especially there was a couple of my teammates from high school who I got to play against, and it was really fun.
Oh, absolutely. And they, you know, they just like you. From what I saw of it, they just like you want to get up to that next level. Of course, the main one, or one of the main ones being, of course, Avery Smith, also a teammate of yours on the Rougarou, and of course high school hockey. But you know, of course, I'm sure he's excited for the same thing you are, the Rougarou coming in here. But now, Braylon, my last question for you, and then I'll let you get going. Thoughts on the game so far, and thoughts how the next two periods are going to go for the Bucks?
It looks really good. They got to work on the D zone a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think this next period they're going to come out a lot harder. They're going to get a couple more shots on net, and hopefully they'll go in.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the biggest thing you can ask for, I think, at this point. I mean, it is preseason, but, you know, a win's a win at the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
All right, Braylon, thank you for joining us here on this North Caddo Express Lube first intermission show. Of course, that's brought to you by our friends at the North Caddo Express Lube. We'll get a discount code to you next time. But that being said, Braylon, thank you for joining us. Always good to talk to you, buddy. We'll see you on next time. And we'll see you here back at Georgia Spawn as a member of the Bayou State Rougarou. Love to see you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Of course. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here in a moment here, not only on this North Caddo Express Loop, but here, Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. And as always, you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on MATV and the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case, or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantle and grills, they've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Alrighty, welcome back into Georgia's Pond North Carolina Express Loop first intermission show. 3-2 our score after the opening period of play. Bugs on top, and now it's time, as always, for our out-of-town scoreboard. And, well, the good news is, for those of you who've been waiting all summer long like I have, college football is back. So Duncan Welker's got some football scores and a lot of other scores. Here he is.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zach, and hopefully you all are able to hear me. We've been having some interesting technical difficulties throughout the broadcast, but hopefully everything is as followed. I'll get you those FCS scores here in just a moment. Of course, it is the start, at least, of the FCS portion. All right, here we go. North Dakota, 22-0 on LIU. Youngstown State, the Penguins, 43-3 on Mercyhurst. Maine, 21-15 on Towson. Stony Brook trails Dell State 34-27. Morehead State, they trail Ohio Dominican, OH Dominican. I believe that is Ohio Dominican. Yes, it is. The Ohio Dominican Panthers. Lindenwood, they currently lead Charleston Southern 17-3. Yes, it is. Presbyterian, they lead Virginia Wise 17-10. Concord and Davidson tie 28-28 at the half. West Florida, they currently lead Southern Illinois 20-9. Furman, they currently lead Anderson SC, the Trojans, 17-3 at half. Elon, they currently lead 21-7 over Glenville State in the third quarter. Of course, here in Louisiana, Nichols, they currently lead 37-0 against the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. Southeast Louisiana, they currently trail 14-24 on Houston Christian. Of course, that game is in the third quarter. Georgetown lead 13-7 over Lafayette. Another game still ongoing. Austin P, they currently 21-10 on Gardner Webb at the half. Central Arkansas 13-17 at the second quarter, almost ending. And one other score of note. The Northwestern State Delta Devils lead 19-14 over the Louisiana Christian Wildcats. Of course, that game is in the second quarter second quarter. Of course, now moving on into some Major League Baseball scores. The Astros, they currently lead 3-0 on the Yankees. Royals 10-0 over the Blue Jays. That first game in the bottom of the sixth. Second game also in the bottom of the sixth. Brewers, they currently lead 6-2 over the Mets in the bottom of the sixth as well. So moving along, the Braves, they currently lead 1-0 over the Dodgers in the bottom of the seventh. The Nationals, they took down the Rockies 7-1. The Cardinals of St. Louis 7-5 over the Orioles. And then one game still left on the MLB docket. Of course, that is the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Moving along here into some WNBA action. The Golden State Valkyries 42-30 on the New York Liberty at the half. And then one game still as of note. The Mystics taking on the Mercury. Of course, that's the Mystics. That's the Washington Mystics taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Now moving on into, let's pick a sport at random. Preseason football. Steelers, they currently lead the Bills 21-17 with 4:50 to go in the third quarter. Browns, they lead the Patriots 20-7 at the second quarter. 9:12 left there. The Raiders, they currently lead 6-3 over the 49ers. 9:50 left in the second quarter there, and one game still left on the last week of preseason NFL football. It's the Rams and Chargers at 9 o'clock. Of course, here in Shreveport, it is 3-2 in favor of the Bugs. It was a heck of a first period, and Zach, looking back at the stats, actually, I got a chance to do that during the ad breaks, during the partner breaks. Of course, we can't do it without each and every one of our partners. Of course, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, of course, some of the more famous partners, of course, our friends at Down Home Meats, as well as Sonic. Some of our newer ones this season, IBEW, of course, that is IBEW Local 194. Of course, we'll get more on them throughout the season. Of course, another partner, longtime partner, Whataburger. Whataburger, just like you like it. Of course, Porter's Industrial, delivering the difference for Mudbugs hockey. And also the Coast Guard, as well as the Louisiana Association for the Blind. And many, many more. You'll get to hear from them throughout the season. Of course, that's just some of our great partners here with the Shreveport Mudbugs. Of course, 5 minutes and change rolling left here on the North Caddo Express Loop first intermission report. So, been an interesting game so far, and I think one of the biggest things the Bugs have to look at, Zach, let's talk about the first period. One of the biggest things that I think has looked really good is that veteran presence. You know, you want to look at the new guys, but at the same time, it's always fun seeing the returners, you know, seeing how they look over the summer.
Well, I think what's really big about what we've seen so far in this first period, too, is, you know, Ryan Barrett, Chase Sakrisky, and Andrew Poloni being out there, the quote-unquote veteran core tonight, which are really all second-year guys. So to see this kind of production from them just makes you all the more excited for when we see Jonah Jasser and Remy Pusateri and those veteran, third, fourth-year guys. But when you start to get, you know, Soupy talked about it in the pregame interview, when you have the depth of your second-year guys producing the way that they have so far tonight, that's when you know you probably have something special going on.
Exactly, and I love that. I really, really do. By the way, Zach, I got a chance to look back at the scoring here. So, of course, Brereton got that first goal at EC27. D'Agostino then tied it up for the Ice Rays from Chase Field and Sean Ingram. Then Chase Field got that second goal for the Ice Rays at 7:57. And what we initially had thought was Emerson LaRoche's first goal, and is Dean Broadbent's. So, congratulations to Mr. Dean Broadbent. But moving on, of course, then Menor got that tying goal for the Ice Rays. And then Ryan Baird, 2:14, gets us to our current score now, 3-2. And, of course, the fight by Logan Prime. That was something, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it was an exciting first period. 5 goals on the board. 3-2 is the score. We'll take one final timeout. Second period comes your way next on the Mudbugs Broadcast Network.
Did you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty and flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area, and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage, and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
Alrighty, back here in Shreveport, about to get period number 2 underway. Already hard to believe that August is upon us, and hockey season's upon us, and football season's upon us. Of course, tomorrow night is the opening of Louisiana high school football. So a lot of exciting things going on in the area. Speaking of that, tomorrow night, Saturday night, Bugs are back at home, 7:11 p.m. puck drop. Those games are open to the public, so get your tickets now. Tickets at georgespond34.com or by calling the front office, 318-636-7094. So go get your tickets. Go see some Mudbugs. You never know the future stars. You might see that on the ice. So come on out and join us at George's Pond. And then, of course, as the season progresses, you can ask about our group rates for future home games. Games of groups of 10 or more get tickets for just $10 each. Again, call the front office, 318-636-7094 to book your group today. And, of course, as we mentioned, Duncan, you talked with Braylon about it in the first intermission. A lot more hockey going to be at the pond this year.
Yep, for the Bayou State Rougarou, the NA3HL coming to play here at George's Pond at IceRays-8 Coliseum. Of course, their first home game is September 11th. Of course, that's also the Mudbugs opening night against the Houston Bulls. Talk about them a little bit later. A lot of hockey. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I use that word very, very loosely because, I'll be honest, a lot of folks around here are a little excited, nervous, but excited all around. Of course, I mentioned the Houston Bulls. Got a chance to talk to their newest, or actually I say their newest, their new broadcaster. Actually, of course, that is Ben Canvasser, that is the broadcaster for the Houston Bulls. Got a chance to talk to him earlier in the week. Joins the Houston Bulls, and ironically, Zach, he's from the Denver area. So it'd be good to have what's the word for a Coloradian? That didn't make sense. What's the word for that?
Colorado, yeah.
Oh, Colorado. All right. Well,
Colorado.
looks like I was right. But second period getting ready to get underway. Bugs, of course, still are on the Scott Power Line power play for a minute 56. Let's get her going, brother. Hey.
Second period tonight brought to you as always by our friends at Tefata and Associates, investigative and risk analysis services, personal matters, child custody cases, or internal theft problems at your business. Call our main man, Jerry, at 318-635-9944. Log on to tefatapi.com. Bugs have it in the offensive zone on a power play. Can't get it set up this trip down the ice, though. They'll save it, though, as Burton's got it. He's got it left circle. Back up top for Seville. Slides it off. Back for Seville. Center point. Toes the blue line. Snaps it across right point. They'll cycle it back around for Seville. Works down to the hash marks on the right side. Centering feed. They play catch with him. Minute 20 to go on the power play for the Bugs. Shot through traffic as that stopped and covered for a whistle with 19:20 to go. A minute 16 to go on a man advantage for the Bucks. Got some good pressure on that sequence in.
Oh, really? It's really good pressure. And Dallaire down there able to get that shot on in. Bucks were looking for a rebound, but it was covered up there by the IceRays. But that being said, Dallaire able to get something in there. Always nice to see.
Showman's in to take the face-off for the Bucks. It's one back to the wall, and the Bucks will control offensive zone. Here's Whiten, slides it to his left. Time for Showman, down low to the goal line. Back up top now for Whiten, left point. Toes the line, fires it, blasts it wide. Comes back far side now. Picked up by the Bucks again, offensive zone. Great pressure on his power play. Here's Showman. Fronde scores, Blanchard, he's got two. That one down to an 81, times it at the hash marks, and it's 4-2 Bucks.
Woo! Blanchard, love it. Chase Blanchard on the knee, finds the back of the net. To quote Gary Thorne, off the floor on the board, but not quite. But nonetheless, Chase Blanchard, excellent shot there.
So Blanchard, the second time in the game he scored in the opening minute and a half of a period. He opened up the scoring at the 18:28 mark, this one at the 18:59 mark. And you know, we talked about LaRoche and kind of what he did with Louisiana. Chase Blanchard was playing 18 AAA with the St. Louis Blues. 77 games, 62 points. Bucks break it back in. Shot there on the slot never materializes. But yeah, 62 points for Blanchard in 77 games and 18 AAA. Puck goes into the Bucks defensive zone. Now they've got it up 4-2 with 18:34 to go in the second, and it's played back out by Sheffield to center. Goes through the middle logo, bounces along the near side, out the circles. It's controlled out of their own zone by Nate Henkel. Henkel sends it down low, and this is going to be icing as they went off the side of the net, but the whistle had already come from Brad Sotak draws a stoppage with 18-19.
Here a second, look at the score right now. It's, of course, 4-2. And I don't think our friends at Sonic are giving that 5th goal Route 44. But if you need any convincing to come out to a Bugs regular season home game, anytime the Bugs score 5 goals, you go home with a Route 44. Pretty good trade-off. Hello.
Here's Miller at the right point. Feeds it down low to the circle. Shot there through traffic. Never got to the net and goes right back to the Bugs. They'll setting things up. It was the first period really dominated offensively by Corpus Christi. Had a lot of zone time. So far in the first 2 minutes of the second, it's been all Mudbugs. They've got, again, right circle. Shot and rebound into blue paint was loose. Now we got to tie up away from the play. Shot goes trickling just wide from LaRoche. He was looking for his 2nd goal of the game. Now he gets a one-time from his knee. Couldn't get it cleanly. Safaldi goes down and still from a knee. Will backhand it all the way back out to center. Picked up by the Bugs once more. It's Goodman will backhand it, or Miller rather, will backhand it through the air. Now comes near side. Eventually picked up by Barrett. Throws it to the middle. Backhanded shot. Stick save that time by Azwar. Up top, shot from the left point in there. Never got to the net. Goes down low below the goal line. Picked up by Williams. Spun off the puck that time. Bounces to the far post. Corpus has it in their own zone. Trying to break it out for really the first time in this period. They'll get it out to center ice. Goes off of a couple of bodies and ping-pongs all the way down where Miller will be in a foot race for it. Corpus has it tied up to the left of Greenwell. He hasn't seen much action here in this second period. And almost faced a shot right there as I said that, as Goodman's got it below the goal line. Feeds it across far side. Bugs look to break it out again. This is going to be icing as that outlet pass doesn't connect. And, that's the kind of stuff right there you expect to see in this game. These guys have never played with each other except for camp, of course. But so face-off comes all the way back down with 16:59.
No, you're absolutely right, Zach. It's just finding the little things. I mean, and there's going to be mistakes, as there is going to be with any hockey game. But of course, now you're going to see a lot more prevalent ones, and that's why these exhibition games are so important to try to tighten those up as you go into the regular season. Of course, into the big Blaine showcase, and then the rest of it.
Smith feeds it down low. Shot there, whistles across the goal mouth, but stays out. Up top of the right circle now, controlled by D'Agostino. He gets shoved along the boards there, and it squirts free to the Bugs. They'll start it out. Here's Goodman again up the center of the ice. Charges into the offensive zone, down low in the corner. Bear shoved off the puck. Lavadier comes to help him out. This line's been playing really well together in this first game here as it slid up the wall to the left point. Eventually poked out to the blue line, but out of the zone. Held in as towing the line. That time is Seville. Sends a shot that gets gobbled up for a whistle with 16:24. That line has been and Lavadier especially. Yep. Of course, the other two we're used to seeing being Barrett and Sakrisky, but Lavadier, he's been all over the ice tonight.
Oh, absolutely, and I really like seeing the shake-up of the lines sometimes. Of course, now though it looks like I believe you got Dean Broadbent out there. Actually, no, it's Anthony Brereton. Excuse me, Brereton's out on the right wing. But no, the shaking up of the lines, especially in exhibition, love to see it. Nice big stand-up hit there by Seville, so love it.
Field separates body from puck, but eventually Corpus will control nonetheless as Clark will bank it off the boards and race after it. Greenwell trying to direct traffic out there, but eventually the Ice Rays will steal it back behind the net. They'll work it up to the right circle. But the puck is 14 to white. That's Saul Scheider, and now so it goes ping pong along the blue line. They were offside with Corpus Christi. They've got to tag up, and the Bugs will control back to their own zone as Broadbent will set things up for Lavadier. Outlet pass to him. Into the zone, just barely onside. Toes the line, works off to his right. Lost it in the slot, bounced along the wall, and it's cleared out by Solscheider again, but only to the Bugs' blue line as it's controlled once more as the Bugs will start the breakout. Off the wall, played by Sakrisky, centering feed that time, just half a stride off, but Lavadier got the loose puck. Behind the net, tries to wrap around, holds on to it now to the top of the left circle. Chips it into the slot. Nobody was home at the blue line as Whiten was at the near point. That one went to center point, and Whiten's going to have to track it all the way back down. Just about 5 minutes gone in the second period. Bugs lead 4-2. They've had the lead at 3 different times tonight. Here's a big drive, and that's a shoulder stop that time. That goes all the way back to the blue line. Picked back up by the Bugs. Sakrisky labors it. That goes off of the post that time and deflects all the way around. Off the board, took a weird hop in the far corner. Race after, Sakrisky gets knocked down on top of the puck. He's got it between his legs as he tries to get back to 2 feet over there. Now he's shoved along the wall that time by Patrick Sargent. And the puck squirts free to the near side where a hit is delivered that time on Perigine, and the Bugs Held it in for a moment before it goes over White and Stick and all the way back down as it's picked up by Delaire now into his own zone. Backhanded pass there. That looks kind of discombobulated there at the start of that play, but it's a 4-car pileup down in the corner, battling for the puck. 14-25 and rolling here in period number 2. Bugs lead 4-2. Blanchard has a pair of goals thus far tonight. Had the first goal to open up the game, and then he had the goal not even 2 minutes into period number 2. That's where we stand right now at 4-2. Here's a chance for the Bucks. Shot there, lifted over top. Might have gotten a piece of it up into the netting for a Johnny's Pizza House. Puck out of play. Let's share a slice of the best pizza in town.
Johnny's Pizza House. Love it. Although I'm personally waiting for the late winter season Sweep the Swamp specials, but that's done. I have to wait for that.
Zone dry up, coming for the Bugs to the far side. In to take it is 27 in black. That's Chapetta. He's had a nice game when he's been out there as well thus far tonight. Bugs have below the goal line, looking to set it up offensively. They'll work up towards the blue line, now left at the right hash marks. Up to the blue line once more, centering feet. That drive pushed just wide. Picked up eventually by the Ice Rays, but they can't clear it out. Bugs hold it in once more. There's really a 180 from how the first period unfolded. Now it's up top. Miller slaps it across. Far point. That shot redirected and then blowing a tire that time. Trying to reach for the puck was Burgess. Now the puck squirts up the wall. Burgess stays with it and dumps it around the board. Comes far side where Ingram eventually tracks it down. Slides it up the wall, but not out of the zone yet for Corpus. His second clearing attempt still stays in at the right point. Bugs holding on to it in the offensive zone. High slot with it now is Ryan Barrett. Barrett slides it up to the blue line. Poloni with a drive. That one's gobbled up on the second chance rebound by Alizar. And then a crowd is going to join right in front of him as the linesmen step in quickly. That'll stop time with 13:11 to go in period number 2. But another sequence, Duncan, where the Bugs keep the puck on their side of the blue line for about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Just an excellent defensive play from this Bugs defensive unit here in this preseason contest. You love to see the defensive play. And that was one of the strong suits last year from the Bugs, was the defensive play, and you just love to see it continue. Brereton shot, that went wide. Well, not wide, actually. I believe it hit just off the post there.
Now it's picked up by the Ice Rays. They'll finally get it out of their own zone across center, and that was offside. That'll draw the stoppage with 13 minutes on the clock, and faceoff will come out to neutral ice to the far side in front of the bench, I would imagine.
Yeah. But now as to that defensive effort I was mentioning a little bit ago, Zach, every time Corpus tried to clear it out, there's somebody. Get bodies to puck. Love it.
And we'll see how things shake out once the regular season starts. You know, this Bugs team a year ago was second to last in the South Division in goals per game as this puck goes ping-ponging along in front. Now the Bugs will start it out. The defensive effort was third best in the South Division, so LaRoche will dump it in. So we'll have to see how things shake out. Of course, losing both goaltenders is hard as well. The Bugs are going to have to replace everybody in that role as now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Corpus in all alone. A shot, they score. They go stick side, and Chase Field pulls the game within one. It's 4-3 with 12:31 to go in the second.
Yeah, Chase Field there on the left side, able to get it right past Greenwell. Pulls his game to within one, Zach. So, not completely out of the woods yet. But I'll admit, though, that was a really nice effort there by Field. But just got to get back into it.
The great pass that started out of the defensive zone, and then they ended up with the 3-player entry. And Field, you know, that's always that situation of, do I shoot it, do I pass it? He decided to go with the shot, and he goes stick side and makes it a 1-goal game. And this one is dumped in onside. Corpus Christi was going to race after it. They'll almost get to the puck first before the Bugs are able to steal it away at the blue line. Held in for a moment. The Ice Rays still battle for it. So Christi doing the dirty work. Splits the D down low for Lavadier at the goal line. He'll slide it around the end board. Comes up to the right point. Held in that time. Now back for Lavadier behind the cage. Looks to center it in front. Never got there though. Now he gets it back in the right circle. Tried a one-time feed. Nice tip in front. That time by Corpus as it's played out to center ice. It's carried ahead by Solskjaer. He'll rifle it in around Brad Sotak. Goes off of the boards behind the cage. Bucks will pitchfork it out towards his blue line, but can't get it beyond the goal line. It's Sikriski knocked off the puck, but he gets it to Lavadier, who has it stolen away at the blue line. Bounces free, ping-pongs the long right circle. Big drive, kick save that time Now it bounced along to the far wall, eventually tracked down by the Bugs. Up for Lavadier to get it out to center ice. He'll lob it ahead, and that outlet pass just a half a stride off. The Christi races after it. That's something in about a month or two would probably be a scoring chance for the Bugs. As Christi still whacks at it. He's got Lavadier coming in to help him, as well as the very tall Sawyer Sheffield, 6'1", 180. Had a nice season 18 AAA with 39 points a year ago. Tied up along the wall still. Bugs will pitchfork it up towards the blue line. Right point, they've got it. Towing the line is Whiten. Whiten through the slot, never got to that. Picked up by Miller as he tracks down a loose puck. Goes below the goal line again, off the back of the cage. Bugs look to set something up here in the offensive zone. 10:56 and rolling here in the second period. It's a one-goal game. Bugs lead 4-3, and they've had 3 different leads, and Corpus has come back every time. It's played by the Bugs again. That was almost too many men there, as Miller will dump it in from the left point. Goes behind the cage, eventually tracked down now by Williams. Is delayed offside. Bugs have to tag up. They do, and now they'll swing in like vultures out there as they'll all come and set things up defensively to try to prevent the breakout. But Corpus will play it to center ice. Up ahead through the stick that time, but Perugine charges into the zone, and he's knocked off the puck by 2 bodies. Now Cifaldi battled 3 Bugs on the other direction. Now Cifaldi, one-time drive, what a save by Greenwell. That's a huge stop for the goaltender there. Comes far side again. Perugine's got it, tied up with Cifaldi. There's not much you could do to set that much up much better for the Ice Rays, as they've still got offensive zone. Perugine slides it up to the left point. Controlled by Clark. Clark charges in, fires one, and Greenwell will pounce on top of the rebound for a stoppage. As the crowd at George's Pond likes to see that with 9:58, should bring us to a media timeout. Looks like we're going to roll on here with 9:58 left in the second, 4-3 game.
Fair enough, fair enough. Want to get some shout-outs out of the way real quick. Gabriel Lopez Corsi, former Mudbug, listening on in, possibly coming back, as well as longtime Mudbug fan and insider Matt Nelson. Hello.
Now it goes on net, goes up over top of the net, goes off of the glass. Now it comes far side. Last I heard, Gabe's coming in tomorrow, so we'll get to see Gabe Lopez Corsi hopefully on the ice this weekend for the Bucks.
All right.
Had a good first year, but another player who could definitely benefit with some more ice time in his second year as this one goes on net again, and Greenwell will pounce once more for another stoppage with 9:36.
Of course, one more shout out as Corpus is now changing goalies there. So
Jacob Koenig into the game now.
It'll be Jacob in the North Carolina Blues setup. Wow, that's definitely a color clash on this side. No, I'm kidding. That's an interesting setup there. But of course, one more shot I want to get out of the way. The father of Mark Miller, Mark W. Miller, former Calgary Flames beat writer. He actually came down during camp. Shares a mutual friendship with my dad. Of course, that mutual friendship being Brian Patafi. Get back to that later.
Here's Burton into the slot. His shot, quote, cloud net, and Koenig right off the bench. And now we've got another crowd forming here. Everybody since cross-checks each other's way. That Sean Goodman mixing it up there. But Koenig made the save immediately after coming into the game. And yeah, Burton had a good shot there. He just couldn't get it off. Good defensive pressure that time by Corpus.
No, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the Bucks' defensive efforts, you know, when Corpus is trying to clear it. But the other side of that defensive effort, though, Zach, you got to be able to get back when you need to in a clutch moment like that. And Corpus did. So
Ice Rays control the face-off in their own zone, but immediately stolen away that time by Barrett. Barrett ties up his man along the wall, but eventually squirts free over to the corner for Hankel. Hankel slides along the end boards and chipped all the way back out to center ice and into the Bug zone. They'll race after it. Nice play that time by the Ice Rays, and coming down with a rebound on the doorstep. They can't poke it home. It stays a one-goal game. A great chance again for Corpus, but Greenwell got just enough of a piece of it, and the puck goes all the way back into the Corpus zone as they look to set it up offensively once more. Far side off the outstretched stick of Ingram initially. Then he got the puck back and plays it up the near side wall where it's picked up by D'Agostino at the blue line. Can't clear it out as Ryan Barrett will give some help for Lavadier out there. Lavadier 6'2", 205. Played last season in the QMJHL. Having a good game thus far out here at George's Pond. He's got the puck in his skates, but immediately it's stolen away. Through the middle logo is McMurray. McMurray will dump it in, goes to the far side. Winning the foot race that time, though, is going to be Broadbent before he gives it away. Now it's back up to the right point, controlled by Smith. Smith slides it across the left point. Shot there for Williams, got redirected, never got to the cage. Now picked up by Saul Scheider, near side. Spun off the puck, picked up by the Ice Rays once more. 16 and white, that's Maynard. He's had a nice game for them. He has a goal, and he's had the puck quite a bit when he's been out on the ice. Now the Bugs will start it out. Lavadier 2-on-2 the other way. Lavadier tries to dance around a defender, lost the puck. Nice defensive play that time from a knee for Colin Smith. Sends it back out to center. Lavadier gets the puck, and he slides it forward for Barrett. Barrett races after it. Left circle, toe drag around the defender. His shot goes whistling through the blue paint. Comes across the far side now. Sakrisky tied up. Lavadier picks up the loose puck. Cycles around behind the cage. Tied up along the wall once more by Smith. There was another chance, or another time there where Lavadier was going after the loose puck to get it. He's been all over the ice when he's been out there. Now Smith will lob it in from center and head off for a change. Bugs will pick it up off of the wall. It's played by Seville's now. Cycles it up quickly for Sheffield, just barely onside. Sends it down low. Gets a touch pass that time to go down in the corner for Burgess. Around the far wall, picked up by Sargent for Corpus Christi. Can't clear it out, though. Bugs hold it in. Sakrisky drops it off at the right point now for Burgess. Burgess cycles up top to the blue line. His shot as he turns and fires one. That's turned aside. Sakrisky centering feed again. Doesn't connect. Goes all the way down. Not going to be icing because the Bugs were the ones who sent it that way with 6:50 to go. Period number 2. Bugs lead 4-3. They've had 3 different leads tonight. Looking to hold on to it again. Here's Sheffield. Right side, charges into the zone. Lost the puck. Squirts free behind the cage. Picked back up now by Sheffield. Spun off the puck. Now Sakrisky's got it. Races after it. Slides it up to the left point. Shot there through traffic for Miller. Goes on net. Almost goes on net. Sakrisky gets it through his skates. Picked back up by the Bucks. Turned and fired one into the slot. Eventually tracked down by Richard Shin now and all the way down. This is not going to be icing. Gets washed off as it barely got to the circles. Now to flex around the boards for Shin again at the right goal line. Will lose the puck behind the cage. Sharing feed. Nobody was home when the Bugs will start it back the other way. Here's Sheffield with the puck. So here's Sheffield, the 6'1 forward from Big B Coffee, 18 AAA a year ago. With them, he had 39 points in 91 games. That's a workhorse playing 91 games. As the Ice Rays will play it up. Brereton got knocked down that time. Stays with it. Back to his feet. Gets the puck at the right circle. Down low. Fires one. Rebound comes down in front. Backhand is shot through the blue paint. Deflects over to the near wall. Bucks pick it back up. Here's Brereton at the goal line. Stands on top. Tries to slide it back up towards the blue line. He gets tied up along the wall that time with Colin Smith. He'll tie it up in his skates. 5.5 to go here in period number 2. Bucks still leading 4-3. Now it works behind the cage, and a big hit delivered that time as Ong got knocked off the puck by Brereton. Bucks have an offensive zone. Up top at the blue line, Whiten's drive got blocked in front. He gets it back, throws it to the middle from the right hash marks. That one deflected in front, but eventually Corpus is going to play it out. Safaldi up at that outlet pass, doesn't hit Perigee. Now get it off the wall. Plays it right circle, toe drag in the slot. Greenwell was out of the crease, but never got a shot away. Did the Ice Rays, and the Bugs will attack the other direction now as it's dumped in from the center red line. Not going to be enough for icing, though. As On will pick it back up to the right of his net. Up the wall for Perigene, throws it to the middle for Safaldi. Can't corral it cleanly. And Brad Sotak says the Bugs got back on side before that clearing attempt. Now goes down low to the goal line. Bugs will work it free. LaRoche knocked off stride, stays with it. Centering feed that time in the slot gets turned aside and gloved down. Nice play that time by Chapetta, and he sends one just wide. Picked back up by Corpus Christi for a moment before LaRoche steals it back behind the cage. Tries to slide it along the wall. Picked back up as they move the puck quickly here with 4.5 to go. That shot up over top the net. Picked up eventually off of the carom by Goodman. Goodman dekes around one defender, makes a second man miss, slides it up to the point. Held in initially, but then it comes back out to center where LaRoche picks up right on top of the Claude logo at center. LaRoche lost a tire that time, and so did the Ice Ray. That would have been a 3-on-1 developing for them. They still get into the offensive zone, and a big hit delivered. That knocks down Patrick Birch there all alone. This is going to go for icing the other way. Draws a stoppage finally with 3:57 left, and that will bring us to a... Actually, I think they're just buzzing for everybody to come out of the box, I believe. We'll see, and that is what it will be, and icing whistle comes all the way down with 3:57.
I'm going to be honest, I forgot Prime was in the box for a second. I'll be honest, I forgot for a second, but...
A long time in the box for them.
Oh, I know.
Well, they would have came out at the whistle, but we didn't have a whistle for good probably 6 minutes or so that time. But the face-off goes all the way down. Not going to be icing as it was Corpus who played it. The Ice Rays will Check down their own zone. 3:57, the clock's not rolling. Now it goes here in the second period. 4-3 the score. Mudbugs on top. Blanchard has a pair of goals. LaRoche and Barrett, the other two goal scorers for the Bucks. Goes all the way back down for Broadbent to pick it up. Stands on top of the goal line. Now we'll slide it up the board. Centering feed in open ice for Burgess. Across center. Now across the blue. Down low. Thrown towards the middle. Goes off of a man in front. Almost went on net. That was Menor in front for the Ice Rays. Now it's stolen away. Lavadier can't feed it towards the net. Now it's played back up the wall to center ice. Bugs will steal it back at their own red line, though, and now all the way back to their own blue. Right at neutral. Battle back and forth. Lavadier picks it up. They'll slide it across. Far side now for Broadbent. 21 and 22 out there on the ice right now. Lavadier will wear 22 and sticks it forward to the blue line. The Bugs were offside. That draws another stoppage with 3:08.
You know, the guy I want to bring up, Sawyer Sheffield. We talked a little bit about him throughout the game so far, but Sawyer Sheffield, 6'1", 180 from South Lake, Texas. I talked to him a little bit earlier this morning during pregame. Big George Strait guy. He loves George Strait. And fun fact, South Lake, Texas, only 20 minutes from Lone Star there in the North Richland Hills area. So he has experience playing in Lone Star, so hopefully if things go well, he'll have a little bit of home cooking of his own with the right team, of course. But anyways.
Burton in the slot, turns and fires one. That's turned aside by Kaine Gannett. He's had a nice day since he's coming. It's going to be a foot race for ice. Ain't going to be close, and it's waved off again. Another puck that dies right before it got to the goal line. Eventually tracked down by Shin. Along the wall, stolen away. Bugs will start it up. Brought in over the line, left side for Shulman. Shulman around one defender, still getting around. Send one through the blue paint. Rebound comes out in front. Bucks can't get it that time as Corpus will play to the blue line and back out to center ice. Eventually tracked down. Miller on defense that time, but gets sent all the way down. Picked up eventually now by Diesel Whiten, 6'1", 195 defenseman. Coming out of the Vancouver Island junior hockey team a year ago. And 22 points in 47 games. Brought in over the line by the Bugs. It's Shulman. Slides it across. Right point. Tried to feed it back as they tried to tic-tac-toe that one, but never got back to Pruitt. Back out there after sitting a very long time after his fight that got the crowd on his side early on in his career. Here's LaRoche. Slid up the wall, far side. LaRoche still battles for it. He split the D and then got to the puck anyway. Chips it off the top of the wall, and now we're going to get a fight away from the play. It's going to be Pruitt once more. Ties his man up along the wall. Couple of big rights. Pruitt goes down, and Perugine ends up on top of him. As the linesman will jump in as Pruitt mixing it up here in this game with 95 seconds to go in the second. He dropped the gloves. It looked like another one where Perugine wasn't really a willing combatant at first, but he ends up getting the better of Pruitt on that one.
Yeah, he did there. So, one Mr. Logan Prime's night is almost done, if not completely done. So.
Yeah, he's headed off now.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Prime's night is done.
That's the quintessential preseason game in the North American Hockey League. 7 goals already.
Yep.
2 fights.
Yep.
We just need a bench playing brawl. That would be about all we need left.
Let's say we did and didn't, to be honest. I don't think. I mean, yes, we have numbers. Both teams have numbers sitting in the stands, but I don't think either coach wants that. But maybe I'm wrong. But I digress. Been a really good period. Yeah, been a really good, fun hockey game so far. And guess what? We still got 2 games left tomorrow night and Saturday.
See now the referee talking to both head coaches. The new coach behind the bench for Corpus Christi, not as seasoned as Jason Soupy Campbell, entering year number 9 as the Mudbugs bench boss.
So, on top of a new head coach, they actually also have a new equipment manager as well, Alec Wilson. Got to talk to him a little bit before. Very nice young man. And I say that because he's actually younger than me. I'm 23, he's 19, and it's so weird to feel that now, to have an equipment manager younger than you, but nonetheless.
Welcome to the club. When you get to be 26, almost 27, you'll know what I'm talking about. As that one goes through the blue paint, bounces far side, so Christi will pick it up. A 4-minute double minor for him. Now it's stolen away by the Ice Rays for a moment to center ice. Now it's picked up. Here's Sakriski, dances into the zone. Good work by the referee there, by the way, because with the double minor, it keeps him in the game. Rather than going for a second fighting major, here's Barrett. High slot, look, slides it across to the right circle. That doesn't connect. Lavedier's got it in the corner. Now wraps it back around the boards. Comes near side as we've got 1 minute left here in period number 2. Backhanded by Nander. Can't save it, though, in the zone as it goes back out over center ice. Picked up by Lavadier on top of Claude. Works off to his far side in front of the benches. Now comes back near side for Sakriski, who just labors it into the zone that time. Gets it back. Got to wait for everybody to get back on side. Barrett tags up, and now he'll enter the zone with the puck. Down the middle of the ice, looking for a play in the slot. Couldn't battle the 4th Ice Ray, as it took at least 4 guys to get him off the puck that time. It comes back out to center ice. Played ahead by Corpus Christi. Nice chip into the zone that time. Brought in over the line now by 12 in white. That one deflects far side. Now he's got it back in the far corner. Chip towards the net, but the Bugs will clear it out. Gets touched at center ice, so it doesn't get all the way back down. And Bugs are going to force the turnover. Lavadier on top of the blue line, just barely chips it into the zone. Now it bounces free for Miller, plays it off the wall. Now for Lavadier, centering feed. Couldn't quite connect with Burgess that time. Cut down the slot. Now back up top. Miller with a big drive at the buzzer. Gets turned aside, and 4-3 is where we take it after 40 minutes in game 1. And, you know, it's been really a tale of 2 games here, Duncan. Period number 1, the Bugs had the lead, but it was Corpus who spent a lot of time down on their side of the ice. In the second period, Corpus got a goal back to make it 4-3, but the Bugs spent a lot of time.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's a tale of 2 games. And we've only played 2 periods of hockey, Zach, so you'll love that. By the way, let's look at some of these numbers here. Shots on goal through 2 periods, 28-15 in favor of the Bugs. So again, it just goes back to that tale of 2 games. Now, granted, first period, the Bugs also had the shots on goal advantage. But not as many shots from Corpus, so it just goes back to it.
So that's where we stand after 40 minutes. 4-3, Bugs on top. Blanchard with a pair. LaRoche and Barrett the other goal scorers. But Corpus has made it a 1-goal game heading into the 3rd and final period of action here in game number 1 of 3 in the exhibition schedule. We'll take a quick timeout. The Sonic Drive-In second intermission show comes up next on the Bucks Broadcast Network.
Hey Mudbug fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantle and grills, they've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Alrighty, back here in Shreveport, 4-3 Mudbugs lead after the opening 2 periods. Welcome into the second intermission show, as always delivered to you by our friends at Sonic Drive-In. This is Howie Sonic. Take a look back through the scoring summary before we get you set for period number 3. It was Chase Blanchard getting the scoring started at the 18:28 mark of period number 1. That made it 1-0 Bugs. And then after a tripping penalty on the Bugs, a short-handed goal given up. D'Agostino on the power play at the 15:38 mark. That made it 1-1. Corpus tied it up. Then Emerson LaRoche, an even strength goal right after a Corpus penalty expired. He got on the board to make it 2-1. Then Logan Broom in his first fight of the evening. Eventually, though, drew a penalty, and Maynard scored on the power play on the differential penalty. That made it 2-2. Corpus tied it up once again at the 3-minute mark of the first period before Ryan Barrett got the go-ahead goal. That made it 3-2 with 2:14 left to go in that first frame. Then the Bugs on a power play to start off the second period, and Chase Blanchard got his second goal of the game at the 18:59 mark, just a minute and 1 second into the period. That made it 4-2 Bugs before Chase Field got one back at the 12:31 mark for Corpus to draw the game to where it currently stands at 4-3. That was a look around the current scoreboard in this hockey game. 4-3 the Bugs lead. A lot of good things out on the ice. We'll see how the third period goes to close out the first game of the exhibition season. By the way, the Bugs are back at home 2 more nights. Tomorrow and Saturday night, 7:11 p.m. puck drops, both of them at the Pond. You can get your tickets now by logging on to tickets.georgespond34.com or by calling our wonderful friends at the front office, 318-636-7094, to get your $10 tickets to the last 2 exhibition games. Bucks will then have a week off, game-wise anyway. They'll be here practicing every day at the Pond. And then the season opener, September 11th and 12th, a 2-game series against the Houston Bulls, after relocating from North Iowa, will find themselves in the Dirty South Division, and they'll get their first taste of hockey in the South here at George's Pond, September 11th and 12th for opening weekend, as the Bugs will take on the Bulls. 7-11 puck drop for both of those. If you are planning a group outing, ask about group rates for our future home games. Groups of 10 or more get tickets for just $10 each. Call 318-636-7094 to book your group today. And as always, we'd like to thank our wonderful partners at Down Home Meats. Whether you're grilling outdoors, looking for hearty and flavorful sausages for breakfast, or preparing a gumbo platter, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasions. Down Home Meats, proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. That'll do it here for the Sonic Drive-In second intermission show. We'll take a decent break here, as there's just about 7 minutes to the third period. We'll come back and get you the third and final frame here from George's Pond in Game 1 of the exhibition schedule. Bugs lead at 4-3 over the Ice Rays after 2.
That Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport. Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty and flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
Congratulations! You kept a plant alive another day. You deserve a refreshing reward. Introducing new Whataburgers from Whataburger. You finally returned a text. Thumbs up emoji. You hung up a shirt. You changed a light bulb. You walked the dog around the whole block. Attaboy, it's treat time. The new prickly pear raspberry Whataburger from Whataburger.
An icicle treat for every small feat. What a burger.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty and flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles, and grills. They've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Game one of the year and 2 periods already in the books. Bugs League 4-3 after the opening 2 frames that'll close out our Sonic Drive-In second intermission show. Bugs getting ready to head down the Gemco hometown tunnel back out here for the 3rd period here tonight. Let's take one more look around our game summary. It was Chase Blanchard who opened up the scoring, not even 2 minutes into the game, and 18:28 left on the first period clock. He made it 1-0. Bugs took a tripping penalty a minute after that, and DiAgostino for the Ice Rays scored on a power play goal. That made it 1-1, making the Bugs pay for the infraction of the rules. Then a few moments later, just after a field penalty for roughing expired, Emerson LaRoche got on the George's Pond scoreboard, much to the delight of the Louisiana faithful have been watching him come up as a driller. He made it 2-1 and continued his hot streak after a 127-point season a year ago. Then Logan Pruitt took a roughing and fighting penalty that gave Corpus Christi a power play, and Maynard made him pay. That made it 2-2, the second straight power play goal for the Ice Rays. But Ryan Barrett said, don't worry about that. 45 seconds later, he put a goal on the board to put the Bugs back out in front 3-2. Blanchard added another insurance goal not even 2 minutes in, or barely a minute into the second period at the 1:01 mark. Made it 4-2 before Chase Field got one back to make it 4-3 midway through that second period, and that's where we stand as the Bugs and Ice Rays hit the ice once more for the start of period number 3. I would like to remind you that tonight's third period is powered by Delta Utilities. Know what's below. Call 811 to locate buried utilities at least 2 days before digging any projects. I'd also like to remind you that Porter's Industrial has been delivering a difference for Mudbugs hockey. Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, providing floor mats, uniforms, and facility services for your company. And we do have some brand new corporate partners as well, so we'll make sure to name them off as we still working on getting our messaging down. Sid Potts, LSUS, IBEW, the Coast Guard, and Ace Digital, as well as All Tech Environmental, our new broadcast partners. So the Bugs starting line back out there. That's Lavadier, Poloni, Whiten, Sakriski, and Baird. They're the starting five for the Bugs here, as the Bugs in black will skate left to right as we get ready to start period number 3. The puck is down. We're off and rolling. Final 20 minutes. Bugs lead 4-3 over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays and immediately into the offensive zone. Lavadier plays catch below the goal line before it's stolen away by Corpus Christi as the Ice Rays start the attack the other way. Charging into the zone, but Sakriski will steal it away and start to break out the other direction. Lavadier through center, up ahead for Sakriski. Charges it over the line, trying to swing it back for Lavadier down the slot. That one stolen away, chipped up the wall to the left point, held in by the Bugs for a moment. They'll cycle it around as it's controlled by Barrett. Barrett streaks down to the bottom of the left circle. He's got a goal. Tonight looking to start his third year as the Mudbug, coming up in a couple of weeks here. And that one goes in front of the net, eventually tracked down by the Ice Rays as Corpus Christi starts it out. Moving right to left. Chase Field in over the line left side. Drops it off into slot. Goes ranking off the post on a shot from Winnower, who was inches away from tying up the game early in his third period. But it stays a 4-3 Mudbugs lead. Bugs have it behind their netminder. Greenwell looks over his left shoulder as the play develops. Sakriski's got it. Spins it around the kick plate. Bounces up to the right point for Smith. He holds it in. Smith has it, toes the line, from a knee, fires one, kick saved by Greenwell, goes up over top, his point man right in front of him. Corpus Christi gets it back, Ice Rays have it. High slot control by Sargent, works off to the far board, slides it up top once more for Smith. Smith fired one through traffic, never got to the net. Picked up by Ryan Baird, he took it off his leg, he's gingerly skating into the zone, slides it to the slot, intercepted by the Ice Rays as Corpus plays it off the boards, but it doesn't get out of the zone as it takes a weird hop. Shulman feeds off 2 defenders. Fed to the middle, glove down by Miller that time at the left point. Spins off of 1 defender, lost the puck though as it deflects back to the right of the Corpus net. And trying to save it with Burton, he can't. That's going to be an offside stoppage. Almost 2 minutes into this third, 18-11 remaining in this final frame of regulation. 4-3, Bugs on top. And really liking what we're seeing out of the Bugs thus far today. Talking with Corpus Christi's broadcaster, Joey Erickson, during the break there. And you know, he saw those couple of miscues the Ice Rays have had defensively, and the Bugs took advantage offensively. And that first line really looked great. Of course, Sakriski and Baird are used to playing each other, but as this one's brought in over the line, right in front, point-blank range, whistled wide of the net from Saul Jr. And the Bugs start to break out to the blue line and out to center ice before Corpus steals it away. Shulman picks it up and on top of the referee crease, dances around 2 defenders, dumps it into the zone. Goes behind the cage, wrapped around the boards, backhanded by Roger Williams. Williams throws it to the blue line, held in. Here's Barrington in the slot. Stolen away from him as Williams plays it up again. Corpus carries it through center ice, over the head that time of the defender. Manor will race after it, knocks the man down behind the cage. Now it's courts free to the far corner. Shulman plays it off of the boards, like a weird hop off the door over there. At the blue line, and the Bugs will play it out to center. Here they come on the attack. Left circle. That one gets deflected up into the netting and out of play. Stops time with 17:18 left in the third. Bugs are back home for 2 more this weekend. Tomorrow night and Saturday night, both 7:11 p.m. puck drops, open to the public here at George's Pond after tonight with a season ticket holder exclusive game. Get your tickets as always by logging on to tickets.georgespond34.com or by calling our wonderful front office staff and speaking with Lauren or Sabrina, 318-636-7094. Backhanded into the zone by Corpus after they won their D-zone faceoff. Bugs will control to the right of their net, though. They try to slide it up the wall. Intercepted for a moment. Now chipped up. Goes off the bucket that time of the linesman as he tried to duck out of the way. Bugs get it back at center ice. They'll start at left side of the zone. Dumped in across far side now. Now it's played around the boards. Bounces free to the right circle. Picked up by the Bugs. It's Sheffield with it. Sheffield slides it up. And he gets poked away from him in the high slide. He's going to have to go all the way back as he backpedals in front of his net. Slides it off to his right. That time for Broadbent. Broadbent spins off of the circle. He's got it back. Slides it to his right now for Seville. Seville chips it ahead. This is going to go for icing as the Ice Rays had 2 players win the race that time. Stops the clock at 16:23. Bugs will not be able to change, and a face-off will come 200 feet the length of the ice here at George's Pond. Glad to have you tuning in with us for another season of Mudbugs hockey. The regular season gets underway September 11th and 12th, opening weekend against a franchise that's opening up their time in the Dirty South Division. That's the Houston Bulls. They're relocating from North Iowa, playing in a brand new facility out in Richmond, Texas, just west of Houston. The brand new Deep South Arena. It's going to be offside as the Ice Rays trying to save it at the blue line. Puck will come out with 16:10. So lots of exciting stuff coming up this season. A couple of more games. It's created some interesting scheduling intricacies as a lot of midweek games, similar to like you would see in college baseball, instead of the normal, traditional North American Hockey League schedule of just Friday, Saturday. There's a big hit at the blue line. That's going to be a penalty on LaRoche. Puck squirts on net, whistle blows, and we're going to get a, I assume, interference call coming up on Emerson, so he'll sit for 2. Emerson LaRoche is going to be a special player. We talked about him at the NA3 Drillers last season, 127 points in 47 games, 55 goals, 72 assists. He's had the goal tonight. He can throw the body around as we saw there. Of course, that one gets called for interference. For those of you doing the math at home, 127 points in 47 games is just south of 3 points a game. I mean, just incredible numbers for him. He's a member of the Drillers, so we'll hope to see him in a Mudbugs uniform this season. Bugs can't clear it out after they lose the defensive zone draw. Left circle, shot there, rebound, comes down in front. Greenwell sprawls to his right, makes the save at the post, and a crowd will gather behind the net. But he robs Sean Ingram that time for the Ice Rays. Both these teams, as we mentioned, with it being preseason, still have some work to do on as far as rosters are concerned. The Mudbugs started with 100 players at camp. They're down into 30s now, and they've got to cut down to 25 by the deadline, which is the 1st of September. These are the final tune-up games to see who will take those final 25 spots. Ice Rays have it off the face-off. Shot there for the bottom of the left circle, turned aside. Bounces across the far side boards now. Picked up by Ingram along the wall. Snaps it across the left point for Clark. Clark stolen away from him, and the Bugs will clear it down. Goes off of the boards and ends up on net for Keinig, who has to come out to play it, so icing is washed out. Nathan Clark picks it up again, carries it through the middle. Now it's overskated by him for a moment. Ice Rays will bring it in, goes off of the referee, so they still cannot get over the blue line. Now they'll try a third time, and they're going to have to tag back up. The near side winger that time, Maynard, was offside. Now the Ice Rays will start from their own zone. 57 seconds left to go on their power play. 14:55 left here in the third and final frame of regulation here in Game 1 of the 3-game exhibition schedule. Only game tonight in the North American Hockey League is this one here at George's Pond. Thanks for riding shotgun with us here this evening. Bugs can't clear it out. Tied up along the wall. Eventually comes back out to center. Patrick Sargent will retreat back into his own zone. Slides it up ahead to himself. Around one defender. Hits the brakes. Tries to backpedal into the zone. Lost the puck. Squirts on top of the logo at center ice before the Bugs eventually pick it back up. Eli Schulman's got it. The 5'10 forward from the Northeast Generals played just a couple of games in the North American Hockey League last year. Also spent most of his time at South Kent Prep at 13 points in 36 games. Puck goes into the Bugs defensive zone. Maynard's got it. Now Cifaldi's got it. He's the captain, or will likely be the captain of this Ice Rays squad. He's a returning veteran. LaRoche out of the box as the puck is cleared. This is going to be icing, and just barely LaRoche was out of the box about a half a step before that puck was cleared, so that will draw the icing call with 13:56, and now the Bugs are going to have to figure out who was out there. That's a close one there. That was icing by the thinnest of margins as LaRoche had just come out of the box. By the way, I'd like to remind you, as always, the Fireplace Specialties, proud corporate partner of Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplaces, gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles, and grills. They've got it all. Located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties, proud corporate partner of your Mudbugs and your Fireplace headquarters. 13:40 left to go, period number 3. Bugs lead 4-3. They've killed off the penalty, and they won the face-off after the icing. Now they'll chip it into the offensive zone. On the near side, toeing the line that time for a moment before it was knocked away. That time was Sawyer Sheffield, or Burgess rather. Now back the other way. Corpus has the puck into the offensive zone. Bugs still back away though. They'll settle it down behind the goal line to look to start the breakout. Up ahead is Dallaire will play it. This is going to be another icing call coming up on the Bugs, as those passes in the early preseason are not yet connecting. They will in a couple of weeks here as the season gets underway. Again, the Mudbugs will be off next week before they open up the season September 11th and 12th against the Houston Bulls here at home. The Bulls relocating from North Iowa, going to play in a whole new division, a whole new rink that literally was just built for them. I think they're still working on it actually, so we'll see how things shake out there in Houston as they will come to Shreveport for their opening games before heading back home in week 2 of the season. Bugs hold it in at the blue line. Nice play there. A shot goes through the goaltender, then goes off the post and trickles along the near side wall. That was 2 chances for that puck to go in. Sheffield's got it back, charging into the zone, drops it off now for Burgess. Burgess fires one just wide of that. It goes all the way down and might be enough for icing if it doesn't hit the goalie, but it's going to hit Greenwell. So icing is waved off as it's eventually tracked down by Dallaire. Dallaire below the goal line, 5'10 defenseman. Played on 2 different NCDC teams last year. Mercer and Jersey. This is going to go down for icing. Stops the clock once more. With 12:27 left to go in this Delta Utilities third period.
You know, you mentioned the Houston Bulls coming over from North Iowa, now into the Houston land area. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to see them. You know, of course, it's not the franchise's first time in the South Division. Of course, they were originally the Amarillo Bulls, then they moved to North Iowa, and now they're back in the South Division in Houston. So I'm excited to see them. Of course, I also got the chance to talk to their broadcaster earlier in the week, Ben Canvasser. Nice guy, very nice guy, and excited to have another broadcaster friend here in the South Division.
Corpus tries to get something going offensively, but the Bugs will loft it out of the zone to center over the logo at mid-ice, but now it goes back into the Bug zone. They'll pick it back up in front of the net. It's Dallaire. We'll slide it up, and then it's not going to be enough for icing now as Corpus will beat the race to it before it got to the circles. Now it's brought in to center ice, but not into the zone quite yet. Now the Bugs pick it back up. Left side, Miller will slap it in from the blue line. Goes off of an ice ray in front. Deflects over to the far side corner. Miller with a nice play to hold on to it at the line. One-time drive, kick save that time. Once again by Koenig as the Bucks are trying to get that insurance goal. Now it's going to go quickly the other way as Salscheider picks off the pass. Into the zone, his shot. Greenwell didn't see that one quite well, but it goes off his blocker and stays out. Now it's back the other way for Ryan Barrett with a man off the bench is Lavadier. Tries to hit him. He's got it. Left side. Books, toe drags. Tried to feed it back for Barrett and it never got to him. Lavadier picks up the loose puck. Slides it across. One-time drive. Rebound goes off the side of the cage. 2 great chances that time for Miller as he tries to open up his scoring this weekend at the pond. Gets it back. Slides it all the way up top. Miller chips it to the left point. Controlled now by Poloni as he toes the line. He came out. That's going to be offside. Stops the clock with 11:02.
Yeah, went in and out there. The puck did. But no, as to your point, Zach, 2 great chances there by Mark Miller. Very nice young man. So, see what the anti-pass to the game is.
Corpus Christi, number 3, Charlie Whitmore.
All right.
This puck is controlled by Corpus Christi out of their own zone. The Ice Rays will carry it ahead with Nathan Clark. Knocked off the puck, and it bounces all the way back to their own blue line for Roger Williams. Slides it across ice for Perigine now. He works back into his own zone right in front of his netminder. 10:45 left to go in the third period. Game 1 of the exhibition schedule. Bugs lead 4-3. Been a quiet third period thus far. Bugs have had a couple of big chances. Here's another one as Goodman fires it from the bottom of the circle. That goes up into the netting and out of play for Johnny's Pizza House. Puck out of play. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of the best pizza in town. So face-off will come here to the far side. Offensive zone for the Bugs. Looks like Eli Schulman's going to take it.
Former Northeast General, by the way. So, little experience in the NA. Hello.
That one goes whistling through the blue paint. Just barely getting a piece of it with Kyling, the goaltender. Now the puck deflects to the hash mark. Slid up to the left point. That shot through traffic. Never got there. And now it's played by Schulman again. Behind the cage. Spins off of one defender. Gets hauled down. That's going to be a penalty. Bugs going to go back to the power play. Now they'll see if they can get something going before the whistle. But it's immediately touched up by Sargent. And that's going to be a man advantage coming up for the Bugs. That will be their first man advantage since back in that first period.
So it looks like going to the box and be number 19 there for the Ice Rays. Colin Smith. Put back to Schulman though. Only played 4 games with the Generals, but got a point on, so not too bad. But as for his AAA experience, played 32 games, at least 2 goals there, 12 points total. Love it.
Cleared all the way down. Bugs are going to have to track it down. It's Whiten with it behind his cage. We'll settle it down. Bugs on the power play for a minute 49 seconds now. Exactly 10 minutes to go here in period number 3. This is turned aside. Poloni will pick it back up into his own zone. He throws out his hand saying, let's go, guys. Get in system. And now they'll get things settled down here as Whiten's got it. Carries it all on the far side boards. Brought in over the line. Left side for just a moment by Sheffield before it's poked back by Corpus all the way down. Whiten will race after it through the fog. Will grab the puck along the far side boards. And we'll see as he carries it through the con logo at center. Now chips it ahead at the blue line. Brought in onside. That time as Chapetta leads the attack. Now it's tied up along the wall that time. 5-car pile up for it. As whacking at it from behind. That time it's Burgess kind of patrolling things. Now Poloni will cycle back up top on defense. Try to get the chess pieces in the right place midway through this period. And now a helmet comes off. So that's going to draw a whistle with 9:12.
Whataburger, what a play of the game. I saw a little sneak peek of it. It looks like Logan Prime's first fight. I say first fight because he got in that second one. Not as well as that first one, but Logan Prime, folks. Prime time, if you will. So, good stuff there from Logan Prime.
So face off here to the left side of the offensive zone for the Bugs. 56 seconds left on the power play. 9:12 left in the third period. Bugs lead 4-3, but it's controlled by Henkel, who wraps it around the boards, but he can't get it out. Took a weird hop in the corner that time. Bugs set it up offensively. Here's Sakriski, top of the right circle. Slides it up now for Dallaire as a man gets knocked down in front of the net. Dallaire slides it across for Lavadier at the hash marks. Backpedals towards the blue line. Now charges back to the bottom of the circle. Feeds it down low. Sakriski calls for it on the doorstep. Couldn't get it to him cleanly as he was right there looking to put it home from about maybe 5 inches in front of the crease. Now the Bugs get it back. Lavadier in over the line. Charges to the circle. Hits the brakes at the hash mark. Slides it back up top. Man in the slot couldn't get it. And now it's going to be a 2-on-1 shorthanded the other way. Ice Rays into the zone. Looking backhand shot. The trailer tried to poke it. And Greenwell slides to his left. And he makes a great stop to keep the Bugs up by 1 with 8:25 to go. What a stop there for the goaltender. Showing out here tonight.
Excellent save there by Greenwell. Able to use his body to his advantage. Advantage. There was Greenwell. Of course, Jack Greenwell coming in 6 foot even at 165 from Falls City, Washington State. So Good use of the size there.
25 left here in the third. 9 seconds to go, so the Bugs power play is pretty much a moot point here as the final seconds tick down. They'll hold on to it in their own zone. Make sure they don't give it away to the man coming out of the box. Now it's dropped back into their own zone. Bugs will start the 5-player entry. LaRoche has it, slides it through the middle. Nobody was saw. Bounces off the far side wall where Windward picks it up. He takes a check as he has to readjust his lid. Now it's a 2-on-1 the other way. In open ice, down the left wing. Big drive that time for Field. Was turned aside by Greenwell as he stepped in front of it. Bugs get it back. Nice deke behind the play by Goodman. Goodman will carry it ahead from the blue line. Slides it across now. Brought in over the line, left side. Broom with the zone entry. Stolen away from him, though, as the Ice Raid will play it back to center ice. To the left of the center logo. Now it's Goodman. Carries it for LaRoche. LaRoche can't get it cleanly as Corpus will turn and fire, and a man gets knocked down. Big hit that time. Knocked down, it looks like Patrick Murch that time. Now it's played back into the Bugs' end. They pick it up, and now they've got some open ice as Corpus without a change. Carried into the zone, left point. Sent down, picked up eventually now by Ingram. Ingram tries to slide up the wall. Bugs hold it in. Into center, Goodman. Goodman down the slot. His shot gingerly gets turned aside that time. Bounced along the near side wall before it's picked up and carried out through center by Gus McGarvey. First time we mentioned his name tonight. Now it's brought in over the line by Corpus far side and up and out of play for a whistle with 7:02 left in this third period.
So that hit there on Murch there is delivered by one Logan Prime. So throwing the body all around is on Mr. Logan Prime. I talked to him. Yeah, you know, it's weird. Everyone thinks it's Pruum, or I've heard somebody, I don't know who I heard, call him prune juice. I don't know. The things I hear in camp are incredible, but he confirmed it earlier to me. It's prime, kind of like prime time. Deion Sanders.
The Bugs will carry it ahead. Burton to center ice. Will backhand it across through traffic. Knocked off there. Shulman gets it back. Eventually carried below the goal line now by Poloni. Nandor really bulked up this offseason, as did Chase Sakrisky as it's brought in. Of course, Chase was a mere youngin when he came to the team last year.
I know.
It was the, if not the youngest player in the North American Hockey League, and it's going to be offside, and now a hit at the whistle. Up ends Perigine that time, and he'll get up to his feet and kind of not start anything else. That draws a stoppage with 6.5.
I gotta lie, that was some. What was the hang time on that, you think? Got to be at least maybe, a second, if not 2 or 3.
It's a good one. Knocked him down about even with the whistle. Maybe a step late.
Yeah.
So face off here in front of the Bugs bench. Everybody jumps, so we're going to do that again. Now it's eventually controlled by the Bugs off the face off as Dallaire will slide it back into his own zone. He takes a huge hit, that time from Saul Scheider. They both get up and skate back into the play. Bugs get it back at center ice. Back to his feet quickly was Dallaire after he took that hit. Looked like it almost knocked his nameplate off there. As it's played to the right of the center circle. Icing is going to be washed out. Eventually controlled by the Bugs. 6 minutes to go here in the final frame of regulations. Quiet in this third period scoring-wise. Nobody yet on the board. Bugs lead 4-3. Dumped in around the boards. We'll see if Corpus is playing full-on strategy to win, if they'll pull their goalie when time comes. Here's a shot goes off the side of the net. Bugs get it back. Another rebound. Back up top to Dallaire now at the right point. Down to the bottom of the right circle. Touched into the corner now and getting run off the puck that time was Burgess. Burgess around the boards. Intercepted by Williams. Williams along the far side board. Charges to center ice. His outlet pass doesn't connect. It should be icing, and it will be as the Bugs win the race with 5:32 left here in this third period. And again, Bugs are home 2 more times this weekend. You can come out now to the pond tomorrow and Saturday, both open to the public. 7:11 p.m. puck drops. Tickets.georgespond34.com. Or you can call and talk to Lauren or Sabrina in the front office through an 866-7094.
It's going to be a good one these next 2 games. I'm really liking this so far. And honestly, the energy in itself, even though this is a season ticket, corporate partner exclusive game, Zach, the energy right now is pretty high. So imagine, about maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 more in here.
Now we're waiting to see. Manor tried to sub late twice. After their line change was already completed, the Bugs had already changed, so they had to sort that out. Now we're back to action with 5:20 to go in the third. Corpus Christi controlled in their own zone. Perigine gets knocked down from behind as Lavendier rather knocks it out. I like him so far. He's had a great night here tonight, and now Broadbent will throw the body around. Puck comes all the way down. This is going to trickle down just enough for icing with 5:05 left.
Of course, all icings this exhibition season and regular season are brought to you by our friends at Louder's Baking Company. That's Louder's Baking Company. Well, I can't say the newest corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs hockey anymore because they're not new. So, thank you to Louder's Baking Company.
By the way, speaking of those players we've seen tonight, there'll be a different roster tomorrow and Saturday. So, you get to see some new faces we haven't seen here this evening, including a couple of returning faces that some of you might recognize. As it's carried in over the line right side now by LaRoche. LaRoche spun off the puck and then delivered a hit. Who kind of stood up off of it was Pry once again. Now it goes to the blue line and just barely out of the zone. Touch back in. Bugs will clear it down as the hitting starting to pick up here in the final 4.5 minutes of this third period. Bugs lead 4-3. Controlled now by Sargent as he settles down behind his own net. Now he leaves it off for Colin Smith. Smith spins off of a defender. Now he's tied up along the wall in the corner. At the right hash marks. 4-car pile up for it. Is chasing after it once more is LaRoche. Now it's slid around the end wall. Comes far side. Get knocked off stride. That time was D'Agostino. He had the opening goal of the game for Corpus Christi. That tied it up at a 1. The Bugs have, as the referee goes down, a little bit of sniper up in the crowd somewhere as this goes all the way down. And icing is going to be washed out. So we roll on, 3:55 to go. This picked up by Mark Miller. Miller slides it across for Goodman. Goodman charges in as the puck goes off of the linesman, so it prevents the zone entry. Now it's Miller again, back into his own zone. Will go back to his own circles. Carries it ahead, the lefty stick. 3.5 to go in the third period. Up ahead, the Bugs can't get it into the zone. Now they'll turn and fire at the blue line. That was Blanchard. Blanchard has 2 goals tonight. Has had a great game as well for the Bugs. Now it's played out to center ice. This is going to be icing if the Bugs win. It might be a foot race, and just barely winning it. Good hustle. Now both players go tumbling down. As blowing a tire was Nandor, and then falling on top of it was McGarvey as they went tumbling down into the corner. Stops time with 3:20, but just barely icing. That was a close one.
Oh, it really was. And those guys sliding down, tumbling down.
So Bugs will get an offensive zone draw here. The far side, the stick side of the netminder Kreinig. He's had a good game since he's coming as well. Yes. And Al Azwar, he had a great game as well. I mean, he made some great saves. He gave up a few goals as well, as the Bugs will control on the near side wall as Brereton will turn and fire it in. 3 minutes to go here in the final frame of the opening game of the exhibition season, with 2 more on the way tomorrow and Saturday. So instead of going to the first week of high school football, come out and join the Bugs at George's Pond as it goes for Brereton over the line right side, knocked off stride. The puck trickles back out to center. Shulman picks it up. He backhands it in deep. Everybody's got a tag up. Netminder is out to play it. They'll leave it off now for Sean Ingram. Wearing 17 in white tonight. Talking with Joey Erickson, the voice of the Ice Rays. They will feature a new roster tomorrow night as well. So good to see a lot of new faces in the game. Here comes Safaldi in on alone at the blue line. Got knocked down. Lost the puck. He's slow to get up. His shot was denied. Now to the right point. Shot through traffic. Safaldi back up to his feet. He's got the puck. Dekes around one defender. Now tied up along the wall. Chipped off of the referee. Now they try to center it. Does the Ice Rays. Perigine on a wraparound. Backing at a shot that's stopped by Greenwell. And the Bucks will play it out to center. Chipped up onto the middle logo that time. Now it's eventually controlled once more. Here's Perigine as the Ice Rays try to catch the Bucks on a change. He gets knocked down. Lost the puck. Safaldi throws the body around, but the puck squirts free to Delaire Stick, who will loft it to center ice. All the way back into the Corpus Christi, and minute 50 to go. Bugs leading 4-3 in this one. In the corner, it's Henkel. Henkel to the blue line. Bugs will hold on to it at center ice over the red line. It's Burgess. He'll dump it back off of an ice right now. They're going to catch the Bugs on a change. In over the line. Left point is Field. Field has a goal already tonight. That one's turned aside in front of the net. Then the Bugs lose. It goes off the side of the cage. And a big scramble for it is throwing a couple of sticks that time is Sargent. And now the gloves are dropped and Sargent's throwing rights. He's entangled with a bug back there in the final 90 seconds. Big fight here to the right of the net. Still don't know who the Bug is. He's throwing crazy rights though, as it's a good battle here. And then finally Sargent takes his man down. And well, we'll end the fight as the linesmen step in. Looks like that was Mark Miller getting in there on that scrap.
Heck of an effort there, though, by Miller. I mean, the result might not have been what he wanted, but the effort from Mark Miller throwing those Alberta left and right there. Of course, I know his father, Mark W. Miller, is watching back home. Of course, I mentioned earlier he shares a mutual friend of me and my dad, of course, Brian Patafi, but as for Mr. Miller now heading down the Gemco hometown tunnel the other way, back into the locker room. What an effort from him, though. Gotta love the physicality being shown.
And the Ice Rays called a timeout. We'll take it with him. 88 seconds rather left to go in this third period. 4-3 Bucks on top. Back in a moment here. This is Shreveport Mudbugs hockey.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Neutral zone face-off coming up out of the timeout. Bugs lead 4-3. I've been at 28 left in this third period. Zach Grant, Duncan Walker back with you from George's Pond to close out this first game here on this Thursday night. Just a reminder, Mudbugs Hockey is always brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beers, Sports.
Love a good B-dubs night out.
The goaltender is pulled, by the way, the empty net. That puck goes squirting there as Ryan Baird tried from his stomach to get his second, and now we're going to get a tripping call coming up away from the play as Baird got knocked out. That's why he was on his stomach, so that's going to wipe out the empty net, I would imagine, with 1:21 to go.
Yeah, at least for the moment anyways. Going to the box, number 17.
Sean Ingram gets called for tripping. Well, you know, we talked about it last season, the power play woes for the Bucks. They're 1 for 3 thus far tonight. So that is the kind of, I guess, lone sour spot so far for the Bucks. They've been good defensively, they've been good offensively, and, well, I don't know what more you could say about Greenwell down in net here for the Bucks, as this one is won by Corpus, and they can't clear it out. Bucks hold it in. They're on the power play for the rest of regulation here. Laverdier down low, centering feed through the blue paint just wide. Is picked up by Seville's now at the right hash mark. Looks for a play, sends it down low for Barrett. Barrett works around the cage, back up top to the left circle for Laverdier. Final minute here of this third period. Barrett's got it back, tried to feed it back to Laverdier, but he can't save it, goes all the way down. Whiten will pick it up, he wins the race to it, backpedals towards the goal line, slides it across to the near side for Seville's once more. And now they'll just hang on to it in their own zone, we would imagine, for at least as much time as they can with 39 seconds to go. Here now they give it away. Corpus Christi can't save it at the blue line though. It squirts out to center as Colin Smith got to go back in front of his own net to play it. 30 seconds to go in the third. Bucks up by 1. Corpus will dump it in. Around 2 defenders is Perigine as he split the D. He lost the puck, and now the Bucks have a 2-on-1 if they can get it moving. Here they come into the zone. Sakrisky looks. He fires one. Goes off of the helmet of the Keinig that time, and it goes over to the wall. 12 seconds to go. Bucks still on the power play, up by a goal. That's going to be cleared down by the Ice Rays. Perigine's out of breath over there as he tried to win the race to it. Bucks going to win it. Now with 1 second to go, the countdown is on. The Bucks have the puck. And exhibition game number 1 goes the way of the Mudbugs at home. A 4-3 victory, a hard-fought victory over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, and it doesn't count for anything other than bragging rights, but nonetheless, the Bugs are 1-0.
Love that. But honestly, Zach, I think the biggest winners tonight are the fans here. Yes, they're season ticket holders, so they have come to expect this level of play from the Bugs. That's why they're season ticket holders, because they want to see it all the time. But nonetheless, Zach, no bug boil here tonight, as my good friend Trevor always says. But we still got 2 more tomorrow. Well, I wish 2 more tomorrow. I'm kidding. 2 more this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
So, good victory for the Bugs. They never trailed in this game. Corpus fought back twice, but the final deficit they are unable to overcome. 4-3 is the final score here in this one. We'll take a quick timeout. On the other side, the Nickies wrap-up show comes your way next. This is Mudbugs Hockey.
Hey Mudbug fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case, or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles and grills, they've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
It might not count in the standing, but the victory tastes just as sweet as the Mudbugs take a 4-3 victory in exhibition game number 1 in a hard-fought game over the Corpus Christi Ice Rays. Back here at George's Pond, Zach Grant, Duncan Walker. Welcome into the Mudbugs wrap-up show brought to you by our friends at Nicki's Mexican Restaurant. Don't drink the water, try our margaritas today. So, to look back at that game, we saw a lot of new faces. The Bugs, as I mentioned in the open, just 3 familiar faces this evening. We'll see some more kind of sprinkled in throughout the weekend, but it was really the new guys show today. Blanchard had a pair of goals. He got the opening goal at the 18:28 mark of period number 1. You weren't even back up here yet after the preseason tech decided to preseason tech. But nonetheless, Blanchard got on the board, made it 1-0. D'Agostino on the power play on a tripping penalty tied it up at 1 just a few moments after that to make it 1-1 in the opening 4 minutes of the game. Then Field got a roughing penalty, and while the Bugs did not score on the power play, Emerson LaRoche scored just a few seconds after the power play expired. That made it 2-1 Bugs. Then Prime got the differential penalty on the Fighting. Then Maynard scored on that power play, made it 2-2 with 3 minutes left in that first period before Ryan Barrett, 46 seconds later, said, I don't care. I'm going to put us back on top 3-2 heading into the intermission. 1 goal for either side in the second period. Blanchard with his second made it 4-2. Not even 2 minutes into that period, 1 minute and 1 second to be exact, before Chase Field got the last goal of the game, made it 4-3 with 12 and a half to go in that second frame. A scoreless third period, which featured, honestly, probably the most scoring chances of the whole game, with a couple for the Bugs, but they outshoot the Ice Rays 35-20. That's really positive. I think, kind of as we mentioned at the midway through that third period, the only lone kind of sore spot was the power play unit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It seems like that, again, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth, Zach. I mean, that was really the lone sour spot, was just the power play. But, I mean, even still, I mean, one for, what would that be, 4.5, because there's still power play time remaining as the period came to an end. But nonetheless, Zach, that's really all there is to it. I mean, Bugs looked great offensively tonight. Defensively, they looked good. Goaltending looked really good, and I think the next few days are going to be a test for not only some of these guys, because although, yes, we are going to see a more so new roster, we're going to see, I think, in my opinion, we're going to at least see one or two or multiple guys play all 3 games. And that kind of gives you an idea of where you're at in the regular season. One guy I really want to highlight, though, at least in my opinion, of course, besides Logan Prime, I mean, he's already won the fans, so, I mean, what else is, well, you got to win the coach's opinion, too. But from what I've heard, the coaches love him. But, again, that's just hearsay. Okay. But, now, one guy I do actually really want to point out is Chase Blanchard. 2 goals on the night. You love to see it. Was able to get some offensive effort even when he wasn't scoring. Of course, and also Emerson LaRoche, you know, as we mentioned, he's skated here, I think, more times than a lot of, I'll be honest, a lot more than our own guys did, to be honest. I'm kidding. No, but actually, Emmy's a great kid, and honestly, I think he's going to end up making the final roster. But that's just me.
I mean, he averaged almost 3 points a game last year, and he had 8-3. So
that is true.
He would be definitely a, we talked about it a little bit earlier, Duncan, but the Bugs' offense was not great last season. The goaltending and the defense is what kept him in the game. So somebody like Emerson comes in, and even if he's not scoring, just to spark the offense a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, a spark is a spark is a spark. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's needed. But that being said, Zach, I think there's still a lot more to look over for the next 2 days. But as for tonight, pretty good effort. Really good effort. Proud of the boys. So that's all from me. So, Zach, as an end to the rest of the listening, viewing audience, whether you're on NATV or YouTube, as always, ladies and gentlemen, do good, be good, claws up, go Bugs. Zach, set us on home.
Blanchard with a pair of goals. Ryan Baert with a goal as well. Emerson LaRoche got on the Georges Pond scoreboard, much to the light of the fans here. 4-3, our final score. The Bugs take Game 1 of the exhibition schedule. We'll be back in action tomorrow night, 7:11 p.m. puck drop here from Georges Pond. If you can't make it out to Georges Pond, which we hope you can, but of course you can always watch on NATV or listen on the Mudbugs YouTube network with the Landers pregame show coming up at about 6:50 or so. And again, if you can make it out, tickets at GeorgesPond34.com or call Sabrina and Lauren in the front office through an 863-636-7094 so you can come and enjoy a night out at the pond. For the entire crew here, GM Scott Musket, Paige Virgo is our Director of Game Operations. For Duncan Walker, I'm Zach Grant saying so long and good night. Final score once more from Shreveport. The Bugs victorious in Game 1 of the exhibition season, 4-3. Good night and good hockey.